The Doors, Love Me Two Times. You're listening to Russell Brand on BBC Six Music. I'm here with Matt Morgan. He's driving the desk. You right there, Matt?
Yeah, I'm really good.
So much more upbeat than you did last week when you were rubbish behind you. You're like a Victorian child with rickets just perched there, weren't you?
Yeah, but I've been at a festival, so...
No excuse, Matthew. Festivities are supposed to enliven us and put us in touch with the idea of community, not reduce us.
This week I feel good. Had an early night.
He was expanding his chest while he'd done that, like Popeye. We've got Trevor Locke here. He's in charge of competitions and talking to people when they call up. You all right, mate?
Yes, I'm very well. How are you?
Feel quite upbeat today. It's Father's Day, isn't it?
It is Father's Day.
Have you got any Father's Day cards, or do your hordes of illegitimate children shun you?
No, I didn't realise it was, actually, until you told me about 10 minutes ago.
Really?
Yeah. I don't believe in things like that. It's not really a religious festival. Mothering Sunday is in the religious calendar, but Father's Day...
Trevor, you can't have your life dictated to you by a religious festival.
You can do, sir. I'm a Church of England man, yeah.
C of E?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I never would have guessed that from your dour, dry demeanour and your ridiculous dress sense, looking like Alan Bennett at a rockabilly club.
Thank you very much, Russell.
So, we're going to talk a little bit about Father's Day for a bit. The anecdotes about our fathers. Mostly the show is going to be defined by mistakes. Not mistakes we've made, of course. We're too professional. But we're talking about the idea of mistakes. Trev, you look confused.
Yes.
What's the problem?
Well, that's just my general demeanour. I am confused.
You're just going to look confused now, are you, by life?
Are you really a Church of England man?
Do you
go to church?
I don't quite know what that means, but I don't go to church.
Why'd you say it then, Trev? Don't make all these boasts.
I was brought up Church of England.
Trying to win
so
the C of E vote.
I'm not trying to, but it's sort of imprinted on me, isn't it? And that's what I'm saying. But Father's Day means nothing to me.
Right, because it's not been encoded in the correct religious language.
What about your dad, though? Surely...
What about my dad?
Doesn't he want Father's Day to exist? And what if you had a child?
I think he's out
Trevor's
there
dad's
now,
listening,
waving
actually.
a banner,
He's
marching
listening.
around the village of Bugbrook going, my son doesn't recognise Father's Day. He's not doing that.
Trevor? Yeah, Trevor's from a place called Bugbrook. Everything about him is so consistently anachronistic. Like, belongs to another era. So
people live in villages all over this island.
I'm sure they do, Trev, but not all of them come marching around London dressed in beige, boasting about killing animals. Before the show began, Trev, why don't you repeat that story of how you used to scare your sister?
Well, again, it's taken out of context, so it sounds...
what context, Trevor? What context exactly does it become acceptable to take the severed foot of a chicken, pull the tendons within it, and scare your sister with the movement of the claws inspired by tendon motion? What context? In Abu Ghraib, Trev? In Guantanamo Bay?
That was my granny. My granny in her kitchen, she said, have you seen this trick? And she took out a giblet and she took out a chicken's foot. I think that's
Why's she got these things in her kitchen? She's like a family of serial killers, the Locks.
She said, look, have you seen this? And she pulled it. And
have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
It's all new.
Trev, we got this crazy new thing. It's called the chicken's foot. Everybody's doing it. It's like the twist. Everybody doing the chicken foot, terrifying the sisters.
It was exciting for me. It was good.
It's not dance crazy. Your family, Trev, the more I hear, you sound like Sawney Bean's cannibal family living up in the hills of Scotland, dragging off passers-by and lone horsemen and eating them in the hills.
How do you know about Sawney Bean?
Why wouldn't I know about Sawney Bean? You know me, I'm an autodidact or
Very
didact.
interesting.
Tell me about Sawney Bean.
It's like original serial killer.
All right, Matt, as if, like, you know, from whom all serial killers are derived. Those others are derivative, lazy serial killers.
No, it's good, though. He lived in a cave with his wife and ate people.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Living in a cave. Is that what you aspire to, Matt Morgan?
In a way.
So we're going to be talking about Father's Day, a little bit dad stories. We're going to talk about what we're going to talk about mistakes. Trevor has browbeat us into having these girls he fancies in. What are their names?
Stop it! I haven't.
Panini sisters, is it? Embarrassing, isn't it,
Panini
Matt?
sisters, yeah.
No,
Embarrassing. Like
Papini. They're called Papini.
Papini.
The Papini sisters, they're good. We heard some of their music.
What did you call them last week, Trevor?
The Punani sisters, wasn't it?
Punani sisters.
The Punani sisters.
Didn't even know what it meant.
And I think that was a Freudian slip that he made, Matt, because there's only one reason, or there's three reasons that he wants those Panini sisters in it.
Is there one that you prefer most?
I think they work better as an ensemble.
You disgust me, Trevor Locke. Have you got no morality? How do you live your life?
Does one like you?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they even
How
know.
could they?
Does even one like you?
Even one. Could you even get a 33% hit rate out of these Panini sisters?
Look, I've been championing them for weeks, and I didn't even
Championing them. He sees himself as a knight of old on a
does that mean?
steed.
I do.
I've been championing you girls. I've had your livery sewn into my nipples. What's
I
wrong?
defended their honour when Noel Gallagher sort of dismissed them last week.
Noel Gallagher, we'll call him up later on
Yeah.
the show. He's our
challenge him to
foreign
a duel.
correspondent. He's coming back home today. He's coming to see me do stand-up tonight.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is, Trevor. as
That's
a
why
matter
he's
of
come
fact.
home, is it?
Apparently, he's mad keen on it. Also, we've got a new item on the show coming up later. It's called Matt Morgan's Reluctant Cultural Review, where Matt Morgan casts his wry eye across cultural events. This week you've been to a restaurant, have you, Matt?
Yes.
Was
I
that
have been
nice
to a
for you?
restaurant.
Did you miss your trough? Did they mind that you having the bib and scooping big fists full of pasta into your belly like Desperate Dan?
Russell, it really annoys me that whenever I go anywhere with Russell, he goes, "You eat Yob's food." what do you want? I go, "I don't want to eat here because for whatever reason." He
It
goes,
was some
yeah,
reason.
you just want to go home and eat a bowl of pasta and drink cider.
He does. Matt refuses to accept that our childhoods are gone now and we are adult men living in bourgeois London.
Yeah, that's why I went to this restaurant.
Yeah, I know. We're all looking forward to hear you like a sort of a long, shaggy-haired, filthy Michael Winner. Like, well, the service wasn't all it could have
My
been.
pudding was cold.
Why, oh, what, I've come here, no one pulled my chair out. I had to sit on the floor like a sow feeding piglets from warts on my neck. Okay, so why don't we, I tell you what, let's have a listen. So send us your stuff about mistakes, send us your stuff about your fathers. Later on, of course, we've got Trevor's Sonic Enigma. It's going to be a fantastic show. We've got some marvellous music coming up. I thought, well, what have we got coming up? I think we've got some Tom Waits, we've got AC/DC, we've got Suede coming up.
Ramones.
Right now, text us if you want to on 64046, or you can email us at russell.6music@bbc.co.uk. But now, Animal Nitrate, yeah. Is
See,
it?
that's not even right.
What's wrong?
It's the Pipettes.
It's the Pipettes, yeah!
Oh, the Pipettes are first. Okay, all right, we'll listen to Suede after that, but let's have the Pipettes. And Trev roaring for the Pipettes like a little Bobby Soxer, chasing after James Dean's Porsche, going, slow down, James. All Shapes, Pipettes, that's another one of them groups that Trevor Locke has got a crush on. You listen to Russell Brand on Six Music.
They're good, though.
They are
I
good.
don't have a crush on them, I just like their music.
Yeah, but you can never keep it professional, Trev, can you? You can never maintain even a degree of admiration for them as artists. It always becomes sleazy with you. Before long, you'll be firing things off on MySpace. Anyone who's seen Trevor Locke's MySpace will know how he views women. So, we're talking about dads because it's Father's Day.
Poor Trevor. Thanks. You've got to say that that's a joke at the end.
Oh, no, he knows it's a joke, though, man.
No, I know it's a joke.
He knows it's a
Yeah,
joke.
He
Our
knows
listeners
it's a
don't.
joke. No, well, that's
The
right.
tens of listeners out there do not.
Trevor Locke undermining our listenership. This we're roaring up that chart, aren't we, for a podcast?
We're still at number 6.
Static. Number
Roaring.
6. Stagnant. Lifeless. Immobile at number 6. Come on, get us a bit higher. Download the podcast. We should start downloading ourselves, should we?
We do.
Oh, okay.
We can only download it once, though.
Damn.
Yeah.
They're always one step ahead. So, okay, let's talk about our Father's Day stories. Trev, well, not Father's Day stories, that's
I don't
too
have any.
specific.
Yeah.
But, like, here's a story about my dad. Right, this story, Matt reminded me of this. This is like a time, you know, the dads, they're big looming characters, aren't they, dads, when you're a child? I think sort of my dad, like, I grew up with just my mum on my own, so I wouldn't see my dad all the time. But like, I remember, like, sort of, you know how dad's winkies is brown, baby's winkies is white, aren't they? I remember being curious.
I've got a story along that thing.
Well, like, you know, like, sort of, well, if you when you see your dad's dinkle as a child, it's brown. And like in your own dinkle is white, and you know. But it's
that's
sort of,
absolutely true.
Come on, Trev.
10:15 on a Sunday morning.
Why are you talking about the colour of different appendages, Trev? It's nothing actually that rude. Maybe to you, Trev, who holds your own winkle in pincers when you go to the toilet and sob in the lavvy like Ken Williams. Like, oh no, what's it for? It's a curse. You know, but some normal people, Trev, you know, you're always going on about all this tiny island, our island mentality, but you are the one propping up that tiny island mentality with your fear of your own genitalia. Mind you, I have seen your genitalia, and it's a fierce and ugly looking little creature nestling away in your ridiculous pale blue Y front. So, like, yeah, that's
unbelievable.
That is another joke.
An
Anyone who's
unprovoked
listening.
outburst there.
So, like, that, yeah, firstly, let's establish
But I
this.
do. It's definitely true that your father's Willie's brown when you're little.
Dad's Willis are brown, baby's Willis are white.
When I was little, I was about 3 and I was weeing in the garden, and my next door neighbour said, "Does your mummy let you do that?" And I said, "Yes, I've only got a little white willy. My daddy's got a big brown willy."
Lovely on Father's Day
See?
there.
So there you go. That's my voice from my childhood.
Trevor, if
Qualified.
that appalls you,
It
there's
does
something
appall
wrong
me.
with you. Have you not seen your dad's winky?
Yes, I have.
What kind of life did you lead, Locke? No wonder he's been dubbed Cocky Locky by his fans. So, my story about my dad, I remember, he came to pick me up one Saturday, and, we went over over the road from the street where I grew up in was this abandoned army barracks and this chalk pit, dead nice over there.
He used to take you over there?
Yeah, he said he was going to kill me. No, it was to walk the dog, right? That is how murders happen. We went over there to walk the dog. I remember, he was trying to, I was wearing a little a bomber jacket type thing. I think I was about 2 or 3 foot tall. So how old are you when you're about 3 foot tall? 5?
No idea, mate.
I've got no idea.
I think it's 1 year for every 6 inches.
1 year for 6 inches. Well, I must have been around 4, 5 or 6, around that
People
area.
don't normally have the memory based on their height.
Why not?
Because
It's a good system.
you're not aware of your own height when you're being yourself.
You are, because you're aware of what everything else looks like from down there.
In comparison.
I was about as high as my dad's thigh. And he's about
That's
as
a nice
would have been
phrase, that
6 foot, high as a fire, living in the sky. Why? So I was there with my dad, sort of looming over me, and he was trying to do up my jacket. I remember, and he sort of my dad's. You know my dad, don't you? Both of you.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of energy, isn't he? He's got a forceful sort of a fella, and he was sort of.
He hasn't got a West Country accent.
He's
got a lot of energy, hasn't he?
He's from Dagenham. So
Russell.
You what, mate? And I don't think my dad's from the West Country. I think that my dad's Justin E. Collins. So he was leaning over me, doing up my trying to do up my zip, and the zip, sometimes zips are reluctant to be done up. It's but my dad overly personified that zip, and he was going, he was sort of struggling. I was all little looking up at my dad, he's
Was
a
it
hero
jerking
to me.
you around?
He was at this stage he wasn't joking me around. It was just there was a lot of tension applied to the zip. He was going, this zip, like that. And then the tension was mounting in him, sort of building up and building up and building up, and you could see it. And then sort of all of a sudden, it was the tension of trying to do up the zip got too much for him. He went, come on. Oh, I'm not going to be beaten by an effing zip! He viewed the zip as his opponent. And I said, I thought, well, in a way, Dad, the zip has already won. It's made you lose your cool. The zip has maintained its equanimity throughout this.
So he just bellowed in your face as a kid.
Roared down on me, because my head was between his mouth and the zip. My head became a conduit for that sort of zip rage.
Dads were scary when you were little, weren't they?
They
Other
are.
people's dads were
I
scary.
suppose because you think they're going to bludgeon your brains out infanticidally. No, because of atavistically, that is a possibility. A lot of mammals kill their male
Did
mammals.
you think
kill
about
their
that
young.
when you were 2 foot tall?
I was thinking about atavism and the predatory nature of the father. Oedipal rage, yeah.
I used to hate it when you went around someone's house and their dad worked nights.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you can't. We've got to be quiet because my dad's in there. He works nights. And then you'd hear him noise, something moving in there.
Do not awaken the slumber kraken from upstairs. Yeah. I remember
And then
that.
they go, my dad's waking up. And it was just terrifying.
Smells would emerge from behind that door, rumbling.
A man, all like stubble would come out.
Stubborn man, he works nights.
My dad used to terrify my sister's friends.
Oh, Christ, Trevor, you've gone too far. It was just a playful item about dads. All of a sudden, we've got another case on our hands. For God's sake, get the BBC lawyers down here. Bill Locke exclusive. Bill Locke, Predator Man on Father's Day.
He's listening.
I know. Hello, Bill Locke. Hello, all our dads. Hello, Ron Brand. What's your dad's name, Matt?
Bob.
Bob Morgan, Ron Brand, Bill Locke, they're all out there living their lives, having idiot sons willy-nilly. For Christ's sake, keep it in your trousers, guys. Have you got an anecdote about your dad, Trev?
I remember my sister used to. It was a sort of a traumatic thing. Her friends would come over and stay, and the noises my dad would make.
What sort of noises?
Well, from his bottom, quite a lot.
Really?
Yeah, he's
like father, like son. It tumbles through the generations.
You can bloody talk.
The grunting locks.
Let's not start on your personal habits, Russell.
Why would we? I'm a
the floodgates
gentleman.
will open. Trust me.
That's menacing.
My favourite story about my dad is that he does. We all used to do voices for our pets.
Well, cool. Who doesn't do that? Normally, you're like, don't kill me. Please stop pulling those chicken tendons, I'm afraid. You all used to do voices for your pets. Okay, Immediately the story has begun with something ridiculous. Would you agree, Matt?
Yep.
Did you do all right, sometimes go, I love you, you're a good dog, but never do you go,
But that's your own voice.
yeah, that's your own voice. You don't go, oh, thank you very much. How kind of you to say so. I'm just happy to be on the team. Team Locke is the best family there's ever been. So what is it? I can't, Trev, then elaborate, mate.
Well, we had a dog called Bessie, and then she had a son called Jacob.
She had a son It's like the Bible. Jesse begat Jacob, who begat Seth. 900 years Seth lived.
So what would happen was that Bessie would, first of all, Bessie had her own voice, and it would be something like that.
What did she have? Oh, she had her own voice. She printed a pamphlet above a pub in Hackney, distributed among local anarchists. She was pretty cross about the death of Blair Peach.
We used to talk to each other through Bessie, so, Bessie was...
What? They just talk to each other?
Yes.
Was she a medium?
Through
Yeah,
Bessie?
a bit like that, yeah. So
Bessie, would you mind telling Daddy to stop farting in front of our friends?
Yeah, sometimes it would be like that. Because if Dad did a big one, sometimes Bessie would, get woken up and then...
He used to wake the dog up.
Yeah, and so
Blimey.
me or Eleanor would do Bessie's voice and go, "Oh, Dad, you woke me up."
Oh my
And
God.
When I remember when I came home from university the first time, Jacob was alive then, and
Jacob was still with us. He was a barrister. I remember that stage. He was just doing his exams for the bar.
so Dad opened the door, and Jacob came running up, and then Dad didn't say anything to me, but Jacob did through Dad. So
Dad, your dad, instead of addressing
Voiced
you directly,
Jacob.
his own son.
yeah, so he'd go, "Oh, hello, Twev, how are you?"
He had a speech impediment, did he?
That's how Jacob spoke.
Right. Did you all do the same voice? Was there like a
Roughly,
consistent
we
voice?
tried to, yeah. But Dad,
Did you have
them
meetings where
to
you
this-
really tried to calibrate the voice?
Can we just establish what Jacob sounds like? You seem to be doing him like Russ Abbott. You're doing a Brian Blessed thing, and you're doing Malcolm X. Can we all just decide on Jacob's voice?
it was an unconscious thing. I think we realised it the first time once when we had some family around, and Bessie used to sit up on her hind legs and
I'm
beg.
surprised there weren't a social worker around, Trev, to be absolutely honest with you, distributing the kids to various Dr. Bernardo outlets.
And she used to
Bessie went on her hind legs, you say?
Like to have a tummy tickle, so she'd go up to people and sit up and beg. And she's only little Jack Russell, and she went.
Was that where you got your
would do
neck
the begging?
scarf?
Well, so
Would
what?
you? Oh, touch my tummy.
Yeah, that's what happened. She did it to a distant relative came round, and we were sitting round after.
Was it an
dinner,
ogre from Cornwall?
and they were from the well-to-do part of the family. And
They must be ashamed.
she didn't notice Bessie had sat up and was begging in front of her. My dad turned to her and just went, "Yeah, I want my tummy tickled."
Dear, oh dear, team lock. Then what happened then, Trev?
Well, she looked at my dad really with a look of puzzlement, really. And
Or
then,
disgust, was it?
and then Eleanor had to
Fear.
explain that he was talking about the dog and
He was, right.
not himself.
Please don't judge Bill on that.
Important family business get done through the pet thing? Because it sounds like you're all scared to actually communicate with each other.
That's exactly what it sounds like. They can't talk to each other.
Yeah.
Trevor's got in trouble at school.
Mummy and Daddy love each other very much. But
Sometimes you get urges as a grown-up. Daddy's going to be living in the garden for a while.
don't look at me, look at Bessie. Bessie's talking.
Look at Bessie now. Ignore the tears trickling down my face. Ignore the spraying saliva as I try to communicate. Lock, your family was tragic. Why don't we lose ourselves in animal nitrate and try and forget Trev's childhood? We're talking about the animal nitrates, like the noxious gases of Trevor's childhood. 64046 if you want to send us a text. Russell.6music@bbc.co.uk. Animal nitrate. Yeah. Dreaming of you. That's the choral. We listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. I'm here with Cocky Trevor Lucky. He kills animals for sport and sort of does a reverse Son of Sam thing on his dog where he does the dog's voice. You all right there, Matt Morgan?
Yes, very well.
We're talking about mistakes and Father's Day. We've all done some funny Father's Day stories, and what a laugh we've had. But have you got some? You've got some texts and emails,
This
mate.
is from Fergus. I think this is an email. My mistake was this.
You think it's an email? It's kind of sort of thing he'd
It
come
could
out
have been
with.
a text. Look.
It
Well,
depends. You
it's
can
a bit
tell from
long.
the format that it arrives in.
Oh, really?
We've been doing this show for over a month.
Well, I knew it was an email. I was trying to add some mystery. Fergus says, my mistake was this. I had a bit of an ingrowing toenail, so I chopped the part that of my nail. Sorry, I'm trying to pick through Fergus's words here.
Fergus is okay.
I chopped the part of my nail that was digging in off. I did this by cutting towards my foot down nearly to the base of my nail. Job done. But it wasn't because when it grew back, it was cutting deeply into my toe. Like, this is
awful
This gets
story.
worse. At this point, the left side of my right big toe was inflamed very muchly and started to die and go white. So I cut that dead bit off with a Stanley knife.
Who is this maniac? Fergus, how you living?
Fergus.
Fergus! was doing surgery on himself.
Self-surgery. That was a mistake, as the skin grew back as well, and now I have a large bulbous toe thing, which is armoured with a protective dead skin ridge.
Protective dead skin ridge.
It hurts sometimes. It's not too bad until I knock it. Then it bleeds like a fountain that is directly linked to my heart.
Nice. Perhaps it is in an Edgar Allan Poe type guilt and morality story. What I like about that is the phrase "dead protective skin ridge." It sounds to me a bit like Brokeback Mountain.
Protective dead skin ridge.
I went down a protective dead skin ridge. Why can't I quit you, protective dead skin ridge? I reckon he has a sexual relationship.
I
with
still
that
haven't
thing.
seen that film.
No, it's probably for the best. It's good that you two don't see it, because I tell you what,
Let's go
you're
see it together,
floating
mate.
in that direction anyway. The pair of you. I think you'd see that. You'd have a tent.
We'd
the
end
next
up
day.
being cowboys.
You'd be a right couple of little cowboys
Look
already.
at him talking. Look
Yeah,
at him standing up
absolutely.
there.
What?
Look
Campbell's
at you in
Christmas.
your jeans and your little, neckerchief thing.
Clothes?
And your
Human clothes?
Actually,
little
he
nipple
couldn't-
pointing through.
Did you notice, actually, Matthew, that during that, perhaps you weren't able to pick out this detail in the endless slurry of nonsense that was that story from Trevor's childhood, but he mentioned that Bessie the dog was a Jack Russell. And you know how he dresses like a Jack Russell that's
Yeah.
recently turned into a man.
And it was
like
a talking Jack Russell.
a talking Jack Russell. I think you are Bessie the dog, Trevor Locke. I think that you have anthropomorphised, I think you've transmogrified from a dog into a man. He sometimes wears a little blue Jack Russell neckerchief, doesn't he,
Yeah,
Matt?
he does.
Trevor, don't do that in the studio. Wait till you get home in front of MySpace. Okay, we've got a text message here. It's from Addy. I suspect Trevor might have been a mistake. It's why he takes the lives of animals so freely and gets so defensive about everything. Trev, did your parents mean you to happen?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
How could they possibly have done?
Did
Who in their right
they
mind would
voice
plan
you
that?
as a baby? I think,
I think they did.
Mummy, I want to go to bed now. Mummy, I don't think I should have been born into this family. I'm the youngest of the litter. Take me back to the pound. We've got an email here from, well, it's a mystery email. Fagdoll. Interesting.
What?
Well, it just says Fagdoll. That's the only information I can get
like
from
a
it.
doll. Like
Made out of
fag doll.
cigarettes.
I guess so. I mean, hey guys, use your imagination.
It's like a
This
fag hag.
doll
It's
could be
another way of
anything.
saying fag hag.
Is it, though?
Why
No,
do you
maybe
know
that's
so
how they're-
much about the gay community?
I'm a, well, I don't have no idea.
Because his dad's listening. He's about, there's nothing wrong with it, Trevor. It's 2006. It's just come out. Say it loud and then say it proud, Trevor.
I'm a fag hag.
You certainly are. I was just putting, this is from Fagdoll, I was just putting some Vicks Vapor Rub on my nose as I have a mild case of the sniffles. Like sniffles in its word.
It's mild.
It suggests it's mild, doesn't it?
So a mild case of sniffles is
Barely
not
worth
even
acknowledging.
medicating.
Yeah, no. We better get this sniffles before it goes full blown. A mild case of the sniffles, and I forgot about the residue on my fingers and proceeded to rub my eye, resulting in severe agony. Oh, that would have been awful.
Do you know what I hate? In restaurants, when they put pepper in a little bowl,
Yeah.
and salt and pepper in a little bowl, instead of
Yeah.
having a shaker, so you have to put your hand in the pepper, which is unhygienic.
Unhygienic for a start,
and then,
particularly if you're eating with Trev.
yeah, and then I put it on your food, and then I rubbed it in my eye once.
I rubbed it in my eye once. What a life you lead.
What I like-
It's like reading Hemingway's diaries. Listening to you.
But isn't
Matt.
that stupid? Why
It
would you
is
need to
stupid.
touch pepper with your hand?
I
Well, it's
don't
nice. It's a
actually know.
lovely earthy feel, isn't it? It gets you in touch with
It's
your food. It's a
nice.
nice sensation to feel that sort of scrabbly,
It's nice.
gravelly
It's not
piece
nice,
of
Trevor.
It's lovely. It's
Is
a
it-
sensual delight.
Perhaps that's why you were sat there panting moments ago in pursuit of further
doing a Jack Russell
sensual.
impression.
But then everyone touches it.
It's got everyone's
disgusting.
things in it.
Yeah, but that's a myth anyway. We
That's a
what?
myth.
Other customers are a myth.
Oh, yeah. This talk of other people in the restaurant is largely a myth. It's like the tale of Achilles, for example. How could that actually have happened? Water doesn't protect you from arrows. Everyone knows that. So we've got another email from Luke, who Trevor's taken it upon himself to attack.
He started
senselessly.
it. This fella started it.
How, well, hold on. What do you mean? He drew first blood. You send one. You pull a knife. I'll pull a gun. You send one of mine to the hospital. I'll send one of yours to the morgue. Trevor, this is a man listening to our radio show. A nice man. And here's a text, an email from him. All right. See, friendly opener. All right. He says, today I bought my dad some tomato ketchup. Needed some in brackets. I mean, like, you know, fair enough. Was it Daddy's
For
ketchup?
Father's Day.
I mean, it doesn't
No.
specify whether it's a Father's
No,
Day
that's
gift.
why he put needed some to.
Right.
All right, right. He goes.
Bad
all right,
present.
Come on, guys. You know, let me get through this. Today, I bought my dad some tomato ketchup. Notice how I'm just doing a normal standard voice, not trying to really.
Why don't you get through it
Because
then?
you're sucking up to him, innit?
I'm not sucking.
He's sucking up to this fella ever since he-
You're sucking up to him, man. Bo, for heaven's sake, Trevor, just be yourself, whatever that is. Right. So, Today I bought my dad some tomato ketchup, needed some, medium size, I'm not mental. I also bought my dad an Indian all-Mac head, like off Simpsons. He named it Luke in disgrace. I also got him a happy birthday card instead of a Father's Day card. Damn you, Clintons. Other card shops are available. That's from Luke. Right now...
I don't know if it's the people who write them or Russell's reading, but...
Well, in this case, it's the people who write them, but yeah.
Just whenever he reads anything else, it's like Tetris with words. Bits of word flying around, not really fitting together. Just sounds so
blame
broken.
me, it's not some sort of jazz language. I think it's interesting. Come on, Trevor, you read out an email.
I've given them all to you. Yeah, here's one. Here's one. Oh, this is... Oh, God, it's from him again. No, I can't do that. I've got a Luke one.
It's from Luke.
Read this
I'm going to read out his...
Matt, you read out... Oh, what's
Here's
this
one from Emma. Oh, that's a nasty one again.
Trevor, what kind of emails are you
Well, they
eliciting?
just want me to do horrible things, don't they?
Yeah, no, these are good.
Trevor's challenge. Trevor's got to do a challenge every week. Trevor, I notice you've not had any of your lemons yet. Why is that?
Because I was hoping you'd forget.
Well, we haven't forgotten. Go and get a lemon now and start sucking it.
And I think you should have to bite into the lemon like it's an apple.
Yeah, Trev, like you've been hypnotised by Paul McKenna.
That wasn't
Bite
the challenge.
into a lemon.
Do it.
Come on, Trev, where is
do
the
it,
lemon?
don't
I saw
care.
it somewhere.
It's only a lemon.
Get it, Trev. Go and get it. Right, it's over there. Look at Trev. He's
It's
asking
over there.
a little allotment for him. Well, what's that you've got, Matthew?
I think this is from Alex. I think Trevor should see how many BBC pencils he can fit into the various orifices of his face.
Why stop there?
Orify.
Horrify, that would be horrifying. And it would be horrifying, wouldn't it? Seeing him all a porcupine or pencils coming out his head.
Russell, please.
I've left
Then you
him
could
again.
take a picture and allow the online community to have his pencil-filled head as a background on their computers.
Brilliant, we'll do that.
Is
We'll
that from
do that in a
Luke, is
minute.
it?
That's from Alex.
Alex wants that. Trevor, have you got your lemon then?
Yeah, I've got my lemon here.
Right, Trevor, we can confirm. Show me it.
That's a lemon.
Right, Trevor,
You saw
bite
me buy
into that
this
lemon.
morning.
me it.
But it's really funny. I was in the newsagent buying the papers to see what scandalous, untrue lies there are about my private life today.
Yeah,
And then
can I just say, when Russell goes through the papers in the morning, he doesn't blink. He just looks like a little rat going for a sack. Snuffling
Let's
through
talk
the
about
papers.
where's my
Let's talk
private
about me.
life?
I'm not in this. This isn't me. Here's a disgusting expose of me. Brilliant. I look good in that picture.
Good. Admittedly, it's saying I'm a criminal when it comes to my private life. But he's polishing that lemon now, Trevor is. And anyway, I was in there buying the papers. Right, this is ridiculous. I was there buying the papers. And I heard Trevor coming behind me. Right, I didn't see Trevor. I just heard... hello, do you sell lemons, please? Can I have some lemons? In a newsagent. He just strolled in
They
there.
had them.
They did actually,
They did have
oddly
them, and
have
that
them.
shows
Is it an
my
offer
commitment
license?
and dedication to this show, even though this is going to be quite an unpleasant experience.
Bite into
lemon.
Right, me and Matt will commentate on it. Trev's got the lemon now. He's got it in his left hand. He's polishing it on his thigh. He's
no
started
point in
to turn it
polishing.
into
There
an
is point
active onanism, as he always does. Trevor, go on then. Raise it to your face.
You want me to bite through the pith of this?
Just bite,
Bite through the
just
peel,
bite a
the
mouthful
pith,
off.
quite deeply, Trev.
And before you do it, say, I'm sorry for everything.
Go on, Trev. Say you're sorry for everything.
No, I shan't.
Go on.
Defiant. Oh, he's
Give the
biting,
lemon-
he's biting
He's
right
eating
in. Oh, it's all running down his chin. It looks like a sex act. He's proud of himself. He's actually proud of it. How does it feel, Trev?
It felt good.
Once upon a
He
time, you
has
dressed
just
so
bitten-
fine.
bitten
But
into
here you
a
are,
lemon.
biting into a lemon. Fantastic. Okay, let's have some music. Text us on 64046. Anything you want now. russell.6music@bbc.co.uk. Go, Matt. Oh, it's a message to you, Rudy.
BBC Six Music.
A message to you, Rudy. The special is listening to Russell Brand on Six Music. What was the message to Rudy? Just stop messing around.
I don't know.
Well, what's the message?
I don't know, but I
Stop
think
messing around. Think about
Think
your
about
future,
your future.
Rudy.
Yeah, it was also from Rico as well. It wasn't just from the specials.
What the message comes from?
Rico as well.
Look,
That's what they originated this message.
Well, Rico was on the record, wasn't it? It wasn't just the specials.
Oh, Rico's
They couldn't
there
have come
helping.
up with that on their own.
Blimey, stop attacking the specials. Oh, it was what, the trombone?
Yeah.
Mark, our producer, said that. So we've got Mr. G in the studio with us now from BBC Radio 4. He's a poet, what I know. All right, mate.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good today. So, we've been talking about dads and all that sort of stuff and mistakes. We've got some interesting talk about mistakes here. Also, G, right, Trevor's got to do challenges now. What did you think of the lemon challenge?
I don't think he bit into the lemon enough.
What you
Oh, come on, G, don't be stupid.
No, you got
Why are you
to.
attacking G?
You got to
Trev?
give it the passion.
Yeah, come on.
I thought I got right through it. Look, I took a
Bite the
chunk
lemon
out.
again.
what was it like?
It was just horrible, really.
It was very bacchanalian to watch Trev do that.
Well, you've
wasn't
got to
it?
do it with gusto. You can't nibble at a
Bit
lemon.
Oh,
into it like it was a stag's thigh.
Why don't you... Why,
Yeah.
Well, Right, bite it again, Trev.
Okay, which
Yeah,
sort
because
of...
I missed it. I just came in late.
Chomp
so-
the whole thing up in your mouth.
I'm gonna
Chomp
do
it up
again.
in your
The thing
mouth.
is, it's dripping
like
over my linen.
Bacchus, the Roman god of
There's
revelry
lemon
and
stain.
wine.
No, it doesn't. It
Okay.
gets rid of stains.
Does it? Yeah, it's good for stain.
Oh, that's not come out. Look, I've got a little drop.
Probably get rid of some of those stains on your character, Trev, from the way you treat
Trev.
MySpace and the way you treated your
This-
family pets as a kid.
This time, do say I'm very sorry for everything.
Say I'm sorry for
funny.
everything, then bite right into it, Trevor.
I've got nothing to apologise for.
You've got Trevor. Try telling that to the. If you went and said that in a pet cemetery anywhere in England, you'd be stoned.
Right, come on.
Take a big bite into that. Come
I'm
on.
sorry for everything.
I'm not sorry for anything. And I would do
Crikey.
it again if I had my time over,
You're like
and I
a
probably
political
shall as a
prisoner.
punishment.
Oh, you bit into
gone
it,
everywhere.
juice sprayed. It was magnificent to watch that. Incredible. I hope that the webcam
Don't
caught that bit of
spit.
action. Trevor, swallow that down your dirty gullet.
That was incredible. That was like a little fountain, wasn't it?
I bet that's quite invigorating at this time of the morning.
Probably
was.
is. Perhaps we should all have a go.
Maybe we
Should
should
we
all
join
keep a
with
lemon.
Trevor?
This is the way to kick off Sunday mornings. I can
Blast
tell
of
you.
vitamin C.
It
Were
really
you happy with
is.
that, G?
I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Citrus and proud.
Look at him boasting. Trevor. Get you into a gang, Trev. It's not like you've just whacked your first mark as a member of the mob. It's not Cosa
I tell you
Nostra.
what, in
I've
a
done
way
mine,
it is,
you
mate.
do yours. It's not like the craze. You ain't just killed George Cornell.
Mate, have you ever
No,
bit
he's
into a
a
lemon?
made man now.
He's a
made
you are a
man.
made man now. You're one of us. Matthew, read out that thing from Luke, who Trev's been deriding all day. I hope it was Luke that sent the lemon.
Is this the
suggestion.
same Luke, though?
Yeah, we think
every
so.
day he comes in with something.
Dear people, one day during the week, ask Trevor to have one final wee. Then see how long he can go without having to go to wee. See if he can go past 12 hours. Russell, you could race him. See if you can last longer. Luke.
I mean, I don't think I should have to race him because I've got enough on my plate. But Trevor, you should definitely have to do that.
I think he should wear a pair of rubber pants full of lemon juice while he's doing that.
This is silly, though.
It's not silly,
Well, it's
Trevor.
silly.
It's a bit of fun. Okay, well, let's get Luke on there. We'll have a little chat to Luke later. Oh, gee, you've brought us a World Cup themed poem. Let's have a listen to that, and we're going to listen to a trowel for Tom Robinson's show. But first, let's have a poem from G.
Okay, this is a World Cup poem, and it's called 90 Minutes in the Drama. I grew up hearing the stories of George Best's former glories and watched my uncles contest with a fury over Maradona's finesse and Pele's scoring. I remember when Bobby Moore had passed away, and an old man showed me his 1964 game program before he'd say that the closest thing he ever saw to the promised land was the awe of watching the magic of the great man every time that he played. And from the tears that were glistening in his eyes, as they reappeared, they made me wistfully realize that there's so much more to this beautiful game than just the money and the prize. So much more than the endless scandals that are ran to quickly fill headlines. So much more than the designer sandals picked by footballers' wives. I've seen Roger Miller's left kick uplift an African nation's pride, and Paul Gascoigne perform skillful tricks to make grown men embrace and even cry. You can't deny the passion of the drama that brings its charm into our lives. Sometimes 90 minutes in the drama is all you need to feel alive.
Woohoo! Yes, read poetry now, fix music, keeping it cultural. Good
it
work.
real.
Keeping it real. That yeah, that was good. I thought I like that. Nice, good historical references to it, capturing the finesse and beauty of football as was. Trevor, the Papini sisters have arrived, so naturally Trevor Locke is looming up at the window
I'm not. I'm
like
being
Bo
polite.
Radley. Terrifying.
What's that from?
Bo
Kill a
Radley.
Mockingbird.
Do you mean Bo Diddley or Boo Radley?
Oh, sorry, because I'm the one that needs to be victimised here, because I'm the one using MySpace as a conduit for lust. Bringing the Papini
Stop
sisters in here, then looming up at the windows like To Kill a Mockingbird star Boo
I just looked
Radley.
round and I caught one of their eyes and I thought I'd give them a little wave. Why not?
Because, Trevor, you're an animal and you're covered in
Got
lemon juice.
all over your
Well, whose
face.
fault's that? It's not my fault, is it?
Wipe it
Gurning,
off.
gurning
How
out of the
How
world.
can I wipe it off? I'm in a radio studio. There's no flannels. There should have been flannels provided.
Trevor, look how demanding,
Trevor.
how quickly he's
Jennifer
changed.
Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez. That's what you're
Vanilla candles.
You're talking about my bottom again.
He has got a nice little bum, hasn't he? Got a nice little butt, Trev. I don't know, says Matt. Matt's cultural reviews coming up where Matt talks about culture. There's a nice email here. What's this on the subject of? I've obviously not checked it. Hi there, this is from Karen from Brick Lane, London. Hoping that the message gets through. Perhaps that's a message to the specials.
Right, prepare yourself for the broken syntax.
Right, okay. This is going to be like T.S. Eliot, who was notoriously obtuse. This
Could be
challenge.
James Joyce.
I want to see down that thing, Molly May, or whatever her name was. This challenge seems almost obligatory, in fact. It may already exist in a parallel universe, or am I just getting tripped out by all the sun we've been having, getting some unusual ideas? Trevor, this is another Trevor challenge. Trevor experiences life as a promotions girl, professionally dressed in high heels, short skirt, spangly top, etc. He plies his trade at some busy thoroughfare to publicise the hottest new fragrance, brand Russell, Eau de Ball Bags, because on another show I do, I'm always on about ball bags. Necessarily, he will have to go around asking a diverse cross-section of the public whether they'd like a squirt of that fragrance. Educational and entertaining, don't you think? Any feedback greatly appreciated. Karen, I think it's a great idea. Trevor, leave the Papini sisters alone. Every time I turn round, he's gurning and looming at them.
Hang on.
He's undone a button on his shirt. Matt, he doesn't normally have his shirt that much undone, does he?
Trevor?
What's wrong with you?
They've left now.
Can I
They've
just
left.
say,
They heard the bit
they
about-
are quite good looking.
Are they? Well, they're going to
be.
be in here. There's 3 of them, there's 3 of us, G. I'm sorry, mate, you're not a regular member of the cast. OK, this is 2006 and forever. Right, so, OK, let's go into this trial for Tom Robinson. Later on, we've got the Papini sisters. We'll have a chat with Noel Gallagher on the phone. Hiya, Noel and Sarah, if you're listening in Ibiza. G, you've got to pop off and do something for charity. Pop off is not a euphemism for raspberry. Let's listen to this trial. Then we'll have Talk, Dirty Pretty Things coming up as well. OK, so music, yeah. That's Buddy, Holly, Bo Diddley, Russell Brand, and Six
rubbish.
Music. That weren't the version that we meant, was it?
No.
It's your version. You wanted another version.
There's
did
an
you, Matt?
electric version of that, which is really good, but that sounds like...
It's brought our buds down,
sounds like
man.
someone kicking a dustbin in the background.
I'd like it if someone were kicking a dustbin and that Big Bopper was just propped up in there, all pale. Why not?
All died together, didn't they?
They all died.
Richie
together.
Valens.
And Richie Valens was 17. Oh, no shame, really. Still, we've got to move on. Here's, hello, Russell. Trevor has trapped my brother on that MySpace thing. Should I let him on the computer and allow communication between the two of them? That's from Stephen. Trevor, what have you done?
Who's his brother?
Who's his brother? Who is it? How many brothers have you
your
got in there?
brother?
Can you bring that mic down? Is that mic up, Matthew? It's
down.
making a
It's
strange
down,
noise.
don't worry.
My sister's boyfriend, well, this is a mistake, the topic of mistakes. I'm not about to read out something from Al Qaeda. My sister's boyfriend was chopping chilies in the kitchen, then didn't wash his hands before indulging in a spot of foreplay. Ow, Claire, why are you having it off for your sister's boyfriend? Saucy girl. I once made the mistake of drunkenly offering my friend's sister what I wanted to believe was her first kiss on her 16th birthday. Following this salacious act, I was forced to endure a succession of increasingly filthy propositions from the clearly less than innocent teenager for the rest, and 3 years of stinging contempt from a morally wounded brother, which I felt was somewhat unfair as I had the best of intentions, really.
Yeah, but why
no,
did it?
no.
Why is that a problem?
What do you
He
mean?
asked her, "Do you want a kiss?" And then she was up for much more. And there he's complaining.
Because of the brother. He's ruined his relationship with the brother, Matthew.
Never kiss a brother's sister.
Never do that, Trev.
No.
That means anyone with siblings, they're off the menu.
Yeah.
We've got, this is from Philippa. I had 2 pet gerbils when I was about 4 foot tall. Good. See, that's it. See, that is how people
I
relate
don't think
to the
your
past.
insanity should be reflected by the rest of the nation now.
Why not? It'll be a lovely world. Right, so she's got 2 gerbils. I stepped on one of them when it was loose on the staircase, which it should, in my view, never should have been.
Should
You've got
never
to
have been
cage gerbils. They can't just be let
Or at least put
loose.
them in a sort of see-through football.
Put them in there, Trev. Or perhaps, Trev, drown them in an aquarium, like you used to with rodents when you were a child. It was a terrible mistake to leave that thing on the staircase. I didn't mean to kill it. You may remember my email last week. I even christened them gerbils. Tinkerbell was her name. My cat speaks in a Russian accent. They sound like Bond villains, which is a little unnatural. Trevor, that is not cool. See, it's all right to have your madness reflected. It shouldn't be, his madness shouldn't be reflected by the nation either, should it, Matt?
Look at me like you're a child. Go, Mum, he's... Trevor, he's infecting people's minds. Cyril Sneer!
I thought I'd reference the raccoons, a cartoon from about 20 years ago.
It's not that long ago.
I had an unfortunate incident last night, so this better be a good show because I've had
Is this
very
still
little
the
sleep.
same email?
And
I've
I'm
switched off. I don't know.
Well, look, all right, it's about gerbils. Thank you, Philippa. Trevor's challenge for the whole show. He can't use any word containing the letter E. That's from Matt Whitby. I don't think he should ever speak again. Here's the challenge for Trevor. Make him lick a battery. A 9-volt one would be good. Make him stick it to his tongue. Addy dislikes you, Trev, and I can understand why. Probably because you kill animals and you're pompous
Did
and
you
smug.
used to do that at school? Not that
No.
anyone should ever do that.
Never lick
Licking
batteries.
a
It's
9-volt
silly.
battery.
I don't understand what
It just tingles
Oh,
on
does
the
it?
tongue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only 9 volts. It's not going to hurt you.
So it's just a little buzz. Okay, let's get him some.
It's not a buzz.
He was happy to smoke anodine through a little self-manufactured
Aspirin.
Yeah, that's what
Anodine.
someone
crack
said
pipe.
about you should be made to snort milk powder.
He should be.
There's some
made to
funny
snort
things people
milk
have come
powder.
at.
Go
You
on,
should
Matt.
go naked on a roller coaster.
You could do
Why?
that. Why?
I just don't think anyone who
It's a
runs a
challenge.
roller coaster would let anyone, especially him, be naked on it.
No way. There's a
Um,
attraction for the
Let's have a
young.
look.
Matthew, what are you
dress
doing?
up as Little Lord Fauntleroy, which he does anyway.
Does that anyway,
And go
no
moshing and
challenge.
crowd surfing at a gig.
doesn't
Well,
do that.
as soon as he's never been to a music festival, he
He'd
should
do
go
that.
to something like
Yeah,
that.
do something like that, Trevor. Instead of dressing up as Little Lord Fauntleroy and going to harvest festivals, and smoking anodine off a foil.
Trevor in a nappy having to suck milk from a fake boob.
Why
I'd
a
like to
fake
see that.
boob?
And
Let's
then-
get him a... What about...
Oh, this is Luke. So Luke's got loads of them.
Luke's got loads of suggestions. Let's get Luke on the phone.
I'm going to get him up.
I'll tell you what.
I just want it. He's got previous. Read out some of the
He's got
nasty little
previous.
things.
He's got previous.
Listen to
You're not
this,
a
look,
rumhole
listen
of the
to this.
Bailey,
Listen to this
Trev.
horrible thing.
This is screwed up.
Yeah,
Okay,
by
go on.
Luke. I
Thank
like
you, mate.
Luke. Cut a smidgen of hair from Russell's head, then get Trevor to eat it.
Yeah, we can do that now. Trevor, get some scissors.
Sniff powdered milk. Walk in a park. Make Trevor spit on a person's dog and then run away.
That's a great one.
It's not a great
Trevor
one.
would
Don't
be
say
voicing a dog. Trevor would spit and go, "Oh, why'd you spit on my bed? Give me a cuddle. Make it all better. If you got to spit on me, use it now to lubricate me." That's the kind of thing. Hey, I could have meant lubricate any part of its body like its nose. Okay, let's listen to Burma, Dirty Pretty Things, and then we're going to get Luke up on the... He must be still listening, mustn't he? Let's get Luke up. We'll talk to Noel later. We've got the Panini sisters coming in here. Although
Is
they're
it Burma?
quivering, terrified in that corridor now.
not.
Because Trevor's been Sutcliffing all round them. Okay, let's listen to
Can
Burma.
they hear the radio in that corridor?
No, they've gone. They've left.
They've
Trevor's
left.
frightened
What,
them.
they've gone?
They
They've
said
gone,
that.
yeah.
Why?
He was looming at him. He was on all fours, snuffling
Hang
around
on,
their
hang on,
thighs.
hang on.
Have they gone?
They have gone, yes.
Why?
They've gone to get a cup of
Trevor
coffee.
tried
Oh,
to
right,
do...
so they haven't
That was the
gone,
reason
haven't
No,
they
Matt, Trevor went out there and goes, "I'd like to do the voices of your boobies." "Hello, Trevor, do you want a nuzzle?" He was saying things like that. It upsets people.
It doesn't. They thought it was a joke.
Let's
Hang
listen-
on, so they haven't gone, they're coming back.
Apparently.
They popped off for a cup of tea and to calm themselves down, I would think, after
So-
Trevor's assault. Let's listen to
DPT.
DPT, baby! Burma, Dirty Pretty Things. You listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. We bumped into Dids and Gary the other night, didn't we, Trev?
We did, yeah.
Went to some party. Oh, yeah, and there's lies about that party. Right, you remember that party?
Yeah.
We went to the other night. Right, listen, have a quick listen to this. I've come off mic for a moment, so I'll speak a little bit louder. Me and Trev went to a party. It was, I think, for a play in London that Juliette Lewis is in, right? And I behaved in an innocuous and innocent way at the party.
You were a perfect gentleman, Russ.
Perfect gentleman, wasn't I? That? And I was
were.
talking only to you, Dids, and Gary most of the time, and Dids' wife Anna. Right, and then listen to this in yesterday's Star. Russell's gobsmacked. Big Mouth Brand meets his match. Randy Russell Brand. Right now, what?
Deny
kind of-
that.
That's
what an adjective.
unbelievable.
Randy.
That's a fun, I'd like to.
Do they
That's
even
good.
know you?
I sometimes, Trevor, I question whether the Hush Hush girls from the Star, what are they called, the Goss, Lee Purvis, Amy Watson, Charlie Morgan, they look like a nice bunch of girls, you know, sort of like Dixie chicks with dinkles. Dinkle chicks. No, they're nice girls, I'm sure. Randy Russell Brand got into big bother with posh Tamara Beckwith. The night culminated in her threatening to punch him in his big mouth. Never, ever met
Was she
Tamara
there?
Beckwith.
Was she even there?
Wasn't there when I got there, never saw her, never met her in my whole life. Never met her in my whole life. The night culminated with her threatening to punch him in the gob. The Big Brother's Big Mouth presenter has a penchant for posh blondes. Haven't got a penchant
Not at
for
all.
posh blondes.
He's got a poncho that he sometimes asks them to wear.
Well, only when it's raining, Trev,
Yeah,
or if there's
right.
other effluvia flying about.
Yeah.
His mojo went into overdrive when he saw the plum-voiced fox. The plum-voiced fox. That sounds like someone from a Beatrix Potter tale. I'm the plum-voiced fox and I'm in your vegetable patch. I would like to meet a plum-voiced fox. Imagine it. He's wearing waistcoat and like really tight little pixie boots, strutting around kicking a turnip. There's a morality tale for us, all of us here.
Move on from the fox.
Right, this happened at London. Move on from the fox. Step away from the fox, Russell. The fox thing's been drained. This occurred at London's achingly trendy Opium Club.
Oh, it was achingly true.
Oh, it ate. I've met the owner. He seemed like a nice fella. The big-haired pixie, that's me, started his woo-a-thon. That's not a bad bit of journalism, really. By asking if he could borrow sexy Tamara's eyeliner. Never even met her. Didn't do that.
Why?
Never
How
happened.
can they? Does this make you angry or confused?
Just confuses me because if you're going to like in that novel, The Curious Incident of the Dog and the Nighttime, he says it's curious
Have
to
you
tell
read it?
lies. Yes, I have. Honestly, I have. It's one of the few books I've actually read, not just read a
picked that
GCSE
one.
notes on it. Right? He says goes, right, the kid in it is autistic, the protagonist of the story is autistic, and he says he could never tell a lie because if you start telling lies, then it's an endless, limitless world of lies that you could enter into, a torrent. If you're going to say, oh, sorry, I was 5 minutes late, there was a problem on the bus, why would you not then say there are rhinoceroses charging down the street and out of the plug sockets eels are emerging?
Because it's not as believable.
I suppose it's
very
less
good
believable than a bus timetable. Yeah. But to the mind of the protagonist, Matthew, these problems are indifferent and irrelevant. So anyway, sort of like, if you're going to tell a lie that I'm borrowing her eyeliner, why not say that I said, can I live in your handbag? I'd like to eat your bogies. Jimmy Savile lives in my armpit. But she looked like she'd rather blacken his eyes with her fists, so he backed off. I suppose the lie is because I do wear eyeliner sometimes, and it leads you into that blacken his eyes with fists. So that, I suppose, is
That's
why
a
that
good
lie's
bit.
been
So this
told.
is just a piece of creative writing.
Creative writing.
It's a children's bedtime story.
I think what might have happened is Tamara Beckwith's been out of the papers for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of her people phoned up and went, oh, Russell Brand, because you've been in the papers a lot, tried it on with her, and then they've added details.
But never met.
There must
They've
be
not
a
added details.
seed.
I've never met her.
No, I know, but they've added detail. They've added
never
details
added
to
detail.
what the press person, her press agent,
Her press
them.
agent? What are you wheezing like Sid James for?
wheezing at all.
Press agent's coming. I like it. You've got to talk like that until you're 33, the
like
age
to.
that Jesus died at. So, okay,
That's
so
never been proved.
I've never met Tamara Beckwith, so this is all mad. Our man with the hairspray, that's me again, said it was clear she wasn't interested from the off. She just wanted to have a good night out with her teenage daughter, Anushka. And she said the eyeliner opener was the worst chat-up line she'd ever heard. Never happened. She might not be involved in this. The Goss girls could be making it up.
What if it's someone who, like Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen, or that man?
Oh, right, you think it could have been
I
Lawrence
think
Llewellyn-Bowen?
David
written about.
Dickinson.
Could have been antiques expert David Dickinson, one of my numerous TV
Or one of those
doppelgangers.
other Justin Lee Collins people.
One of the people that live in my genre. It could have been any one of them. Justin Lee Collins, happily married, got a baby.
The bloke out of the darkness.
Bloke out of the darkness went up to Tamara
I've got
Beckwith.
this, I've got that fan site of which I'm immensely proud. Run,
She likes him as well, doesn't she?
yeah, it's run by Jenny May, lovely girl in Ireland, right? I was really proud to have this website, and she put me on MySpace, right? And she put me as, quite rightly, she put herself as one of my friends, right? And used to somewhat less advisedly, because now it means I'm essentially in a paedophile ring. That's a joke. I'm mucking about. Okay, so I clicked on her MySpace. That's a joke. I clicked on her MySpace. I mean, obviously, paedophiles are disgusting. So I clicked on Jenny May's page, right? And the person who I'm proud to have run my website, covered in photos, not most, there's a few photos of me, but her page is dominated by photos of bloody Justin Hawkins
I found
from The
that funny.
Darkness.
I thought that
She
was
loves
really
Justin
funny.
Hawkins. She
And
loves
I
him
knew how you
more
feel.
than me, right? So it's obviously that she likes a particular type of man, which apparently is a genre that I belong to.
Do you remember we walked? It's happened twice actually. We
Twice,
walked down the
not
street with
more.
him, and someone goes, "It's you, innit?"
Out
And he
of
goes,
dark-
"Yes, it's me."
It's me, my good man. Would you like an
And they go,
autograph?
"God,
Yeah, we would,
you're from the
Justin.
darkness, aren't you? You're from the darkness."
I'm, spiritually, yes, but in terms of a band, I'm really not. So, that's hurtful, but I love Jenny, mate. So, where'd it go? She just wanted to have a good night out of her daughter. The eyeliner thing was the worst thing she'd ever heard. A few moments later, the Brandmeister was back with his
At least
pals.
they're friendly. They're saying, "Oh, boy with the hairspray, the Brandmeister."
Yeah,
It's
but I
not
don't want to
like-
be a Brandmeister.
No, not at all.
A
Not the
brand-
big
No,
haired
that's
pixie.
nice.
That's not nice. That's like
What's that
something out of
other-
Toyland.
There's another really weird thing it says about.
Oh,
that
well, let's
you-
keep going.
You shook your elfin bottom in her mush.
It's
or
coming,
something.
it's coming up. But a few moments later, the Brandmeister was back with his pals. They cajoled him into giving Tamara another dose of his Casanova impersonation. The reformed, in quotation marks, sex addict, I'm not a sex addict, offered to buy her a cocktail, but she snapped that she already had a drink and promptly legged it away from him onto the dance floor. However, Russ is made of sterner stuff, so he boogied towards her. Right now, anyone who knows me...
You don't boogie in
I
public.
would not boogie. The only place I boogie is in this radio
this room.
studio.
And you
with
certainly
Schmatt
wouldn't
and
use
Trev.
it as a method of transport.
Never would I use a boogie as a way to motivate myself across any space. I would not traverse using a boogie. I don't have enough confidence in my boogieing to think, right, and now for a boogie, then tomorrow will be mine. I would die of shame rather than boogie across
So
the
you
dance
should.
floor. I really think I might one day. So... And it was at this point he started wiggling his elfin bum in Tamara's horrified mush.
How
That sounds
tall do they
disgusting.
think you are? Is she meant to be sitting down?
I'm 12'9", you know.
She's probably quite a tall woman.
I'm Robert Wardlow. Look at my elfin bum.
If you go with the imagery, the literal imagery that they're using,
There are no literal imagery. It's not
she's a
written by
fox.
Tolkien.
You're a pixie with an elfin bottom, and she's a slinky fox. So if she's down on all fours, her face would be a
How
pixie bottom
consistent is
height.
this analogy meant to be before we get into the realms of bestiality, Trevor? By this point, gorgeous Tamara had lost patience. She snapped at Brand, "You're the one with the big mouth, aren't you?" No, but this didn't happen. Thrilled that she'd finally acknowledged his famous self, Russell nodded enthusiastically. "Yeah, that's me. I'm that guy."
Nodding enthusiastically.
Yeah, I'm not going to just do a normal nod. Here goes with the nodding. Get ready for a nod party. Everyone's invited. Vertebrae, do your crazy thing. She continued, "Well, if you don't leave me alone, you'll get a smack in it." Made up, just for a
If
joke.
she'd say that.
Is it, yeah. Poor Russell was horrified to be spurned in front of his jeering pals. That's you two. That's the only time there's a brush with truth in this entire article.
wasn't even there.
That my pals are jeering. But had you been, Matt, whether I'd done that or not, you'd
Is this
probably
meant
sat
to-
somewhere jeering.
I do jeer at you.
You do jeer. You're jeering now, even on the subject of jeering. Trevor was there. He weren't jeering.
I would
because there was
have
nothing
been
to jeer
cheering.
at.
If you'd done anything like that, I'd have been cheering.
So they've got the place right. They know that you're...
The place is right, and I went to that place. But we got there, me and Trev got there dead late, and like there was hardly anyone there except Gary and Dids and a few other people. Poor Russell was horrified to be spurned in front of his jeering pals. He really has to go back to Brand Towers on his lonesome, my humble one-bedroom garden flat. Little Russell has had the pleasures... I think it means I think it's referring to my
Oh, I see.
frankly normal-sized penis.
No, but it's littler than you.
Well,
It really should be as well.
yeah, I mean, you know, I suppose anatomically it is smaller than me. Little Russell has had the pleasure of a galaxy of celebrities, and then it lists some of them. Add to these a host of prostitutes. A host of prostitutes. And now for the host of prostitutes. You know, when I was a drug addict, I made some terrible mistakes, didn't I, Matt? But we've apologised for those. I was under the drug
makes it
bread.
sound
I
like
weren't
sort
to
of
blame.
can line of...
Yeah. Come on, girls, put down your crack pipes and your tins of kestrel and get into the boudoir. Poor things. Okay, so add to those a host of prostitutes, pals, and distant relatives. Just an outrage.
Well, they're
nonsense.
ex-lovers of distant relatives.
Well, it seems that it's suggesting that I have it off with my family. I don't know, is that libelous? I don't know, let's look into that. The mortified fop laughed off his failure, saying, "I'm a sexy wild man." Never said
You're
it.
always saying that.
I've never
Always.
papers.
Well,
Have
that's
you
come
ever
up in a
heard-
few articles.
Yeah, but have you ever heard... Come on, you know
You
me,
do
chaps.
say that when you answer the phone.
Hello, Russell Brand, sexy wild man. How can I help you? Grace
Hello,
Brothers.
Brand Towers. Would you like to speak to the sexy wild man?
Press 1 for sexy wild man. Press 2 for insecure real Russell. So, okay, she didn't have to see my winky if she didn't want to. What am I saying this to? I hope my bachelor ring, David Walliams, Beppe and Callum Best don't hear about this.
Have
Too
you
late
ever
with
met
it.
any of them? Oh, Walliams, you know.
No, David and Callum Best once came on the show, but like it's because on the Big Brother programme that I do, I jokingly refer to, "Oh, right, I was out with the guys last night. I was out with Gaffney and Beppe," mocking the idea of that kind of laddom. Those guys are fabulous. I'm sure I don't know them, and like, you know, it's not. That's not real. None of this stuff is real. It's bonkers. It's crazy. You can't believe what you're reading in the papers. Now, all that while Luke's been on the line. Are you still there, Luke?
Yeah, well, I'm still there.
You sound like you've been battered into submission. It's broken your spirit, that, hasn't it? Listening to that, like some sort of audio water torture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's been happening. So, Luke, what do you think of Trevor Lock's near constant ridicule of you?
Well, I don't know what I do with it, because speaking to him on MySpace and that.
You've spoken to him on MySpace. You've been lured into that web pervert's lair, have you?
Yeah. Moment I mentioned Katie Mellor, he was all on me.
Katie
like,
Mellor?
"Oh, what do you know about Katie Mellor?" And that. I was like,
Was he? He was on
This
you for
man
that.
gave me a fact file on how to get hold of Katie Mellor. It was
Well, a fact
scary.
file.
It was spooky.
Was it a fact file, Luke?
I just
just copy and paste on a website.
Right, okay.
From her website.
It was
Yeah.
a dossier of how to get in touch with her.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
a stalker.
Luke, I think that you're a victim in this.
I know.
Another one of Trevor Lock's victims. You've come with some brilliant suggestions for Trevor. Which one of your suggestions for Trev's challenge would you most like to see carried out, Luke?
So no, some of them a bit outlandish.
I mean, was it you that suggested the lemon thing? Because he went about that with
I
gusto.
didn't suggest the lemon thing. That was someone else.
Well, that's a shame.
I quite like the eating some of Russell's hair.
Yeah,
That's a good
one.
idea.
'Cause we
Let's
could do that.
We
We've
could
got
do
some
that
scissors.
now. Have we got some
That's
scissors?
a weird pagan ritual. There's some sort of witchcraft underneath that.
Let's do some voodoo, man.
I'm not eating your hair.
Trevor, it's only a little bit. Don't
I'm
make
doing
a
that.
fuss.
It might have an effect
God,
on me.
Trevor, you're so difficult
I might
to
start
work with.
meeting ex-models in dark, dingy nightclubs.
I don't see how that's going to happen, Trevor, the way
Trevor,
you live
you
your
smoke
life.
aspirin, but you won't eat a bit of hair.
Yeah, Trev, you're happy to hit the pipe.
That was young. I was.
Eat hair, Trevor. Charlotte, can you bring us some scissors in, love?
I'll smoke it. I won't eat it.
Fine. Either's
Smoking
okay.
hair would be disgusting.
You can't smoke at the BBC, Trev. It's not legal. It's not on, mate, either. That you suggested. Hold
I
on, look,
can't
we're
just
getting-
eat hair. At least put it in a brew.
I know what.
We'll put it in
some lemon
water.
juice on it.
Put some lemon juice on it. Let's make it into a soup. Let's put some frog's legs in it. Let's get up a little
What's
bit.
wrong
of a-
with you?
Let's voice those frogs.
Yeah, let's give those frogs personality so it's more pleasure when you kill them.
Look, where does this come from? Eating someone's hair? There must be some sort
What's
of.
generated that,
I'm just
mate?
trying to think of weird things which you could do in that. I liked my the one you actually do karaoke on air to Noel. What about that one?
What was that one? What he's got to do to Noel?
Got to sing a bit of Oasis karaoke.
Yeah, that's good. All right, that's good. We'll get
Phone
Noel on
him
the
up
phone
and then
later.
That'll get him all embarrassed.
Yeah, that'd embarrass him. Which song? I reckon it should be "Live Forever" because that's got quite a lot of high notes. Or
Yeah.
maybe it should be saying that Noel did vocals on.
Yeah.
What should we like? So what? We don't know. Which one does Noel do?
Champagne Supernova.
Champagne Supernova. Is
Yeah.
that Noel? One.
What? So
Wonderwall's
Trevor
Liam,
just
right?
phones up Noel
Yeah.
without saying he's on air, but Noel might swear,
Yeah.
and then just goes, "Oh, all right, no, it's Trevor."
I just wanted you
Listen
to
to this, and then start singing.
Come on, Trevor. Have a little practice.
What's an Oasis song then?
Don't look back in anger.
How does that go?
So sad is away.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
It is going on by. Yeah.
Okay, I'll get my guitars downstairs. I'll get it.
No, just do it now.
Why is it
A cappella.
downstairs? Why is
have
it
you got
always
guitar?
quite near?
Charlotte, bring us those scissors, darling. There she comes. Charlotte's got the scissors. That's fantastic. Right, so Trev, you practice your song.
Step inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find?
Don't do a silly voice to cover up your bad singing.
I'm good singing. You'll hear my singing later. I'm a good singer.
On Trevor's
I'm not
Sonic
ashamed.
Enigma.
Why are you doing that then?
All right, Trev. Right, so we are going to do that, Luke. That's a good suggestion. And I'm even now. This is the sound of me cutting a little bit of my hair off.
Off your head, the hair off your head.
No way, Trev. No one specified. Come over here.
I'm not putting that in my mouth.
It is from your.
It is from his head.
It is from my head.
It's a crazy joke.
it's puerile, but it's kind of fun too. Come on, Trev. Come over here and put it in your mouth.
No,
You bring it over. Oh no, yeah.
that's
you-
disgusting. You eat something off my body then.
Right. Right, I'm going round to Trevor's
No,
microphone
I'm not
now.
doing this. This is abuse.
Put it on his mouth.
Get it in there. Look, he's all clammed his little gob up, but we're prising it open like a crab. It's going behind his incisors. There. Rub it on your gums. Right, he's got it in his mouth.
He's got to swallow it.
Swallow it, Trevor.
The most disgusting thing was that your fingers went in my mouth, and I know where they've been all morning.
We'll tell you more about that
Oh, that's
later.
horrible.
Let's have some Smashing Pumpkins. Luke, thanks for your contribution, mate. Stay in touch with the show. We appreciate you, even if Trevor Locke doesn't. Smashing Pumpkins.
All right, thanks a lot.
Take it easy, Luke. Bye, mate.
See ya.
Bye.
Go on then. Put a record on. Put a record on,
should be
Matthew. Oh, for
It
God's
is on.
sake.
It is on.
It's got a slow, quiet beginning.
Dave. Six Music.
She moves in her own way, I think that is, by the Kooks, is it? She moves in her own way.
Yeah, I think she's bopping from one leg to another. To that
I
one.
think she perambulates like a loon, that girl. This is Russell Brand on Six Music. That was the Kooks. Trevor, why are you looking like that?
Perambulates
Been
like
sucking a
loon.
lemon.
Thank God I had that lemon after you put your dirty little fingers in my mouth.
What's wrong with my fingers?
Well, they've been up your nose, they've been down your pants, they've been touching your nipples,
Russell
and
picks
scratching
his
your
nose
armpits.
constantly.
I don't pick it constantly. I do it sometimes, occasionally. Here, we've got to find a challenge for Trevor. We've been talking to his lust icons, the Panini sisters out there. They've not come up with a suggestion yet, but Taylor, young Taylor, she's Mike, one of the producers, his daughters. Hello, Taylor. She's out there. She's waving. Bless her. She's such a beautiful girl. Trevor, she wants Trevor to eat a pound of Brussels sprouts. Is that enough? A kilo?
Is that a lot? Should just eat.
Pound of Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, she wants, and I don't think they can be cooked or anything, or
Thank you, Taylor.
chewed.
Thanks
I
for
think
that.
I think you've got to swallow them.
Cooked or chewed.
They can't be cooked or chewed. Just gobble them down, Trevor, like pellets. We've got some other suggestions here. Trev's challenge is to stop writing randy letters under a lady's name, dripping in man lust for Russell to the Guardian magazine, and take his walk stalking elsewhere. Is this what's going on, Trev?
I am writing love letters to you via the Guardian magazine. Yeah, I've been found
just
out.
Ask me directly.
What on
if
earth
you
is
want
that
to
about?
cuddle.
Who's that from?
I don't know. This isn't put-
Nonsense.
Luke, probably.
This is from Aaron in Hawley. Listen to this. I'm pleased the lemon one went well. Sounds already
Oh,
like
good. Yeah.
like Die Hard. Well,
was going to St Ives. Hello, John.
Hello,
I'm glad
Trevor.
the lemon thing went well.
Matt, read that out in that voice. That's perfect.
Give it to me then.
Sorry.
Using your arm. I'm pleased the lemon one went well. However, I feel last week I should have specified that the lemon should have been sour, with the intent to cause bleeding gums. The next challenge for Trevor, I think, should be to see how long he can keep a small bird, perhaps a baby cuckoo or robin, in his mouth for.
Yeah, Trev, get a cuckoo in your goblock. Complained about my hair.
Aaron.
Aaron. Know me as Aaron, why don't ya, for 'tis me name. That's a good suggestion, Aaron, but it might be cruel to the bird. But what he could do is put sort of
A dead bird in his
dead
mouth.
bird. It's already dead
Why not?
anyway.
Yeah, they're easy to find.
They are. They're everywhere. Take another bite of lemon. You're supposed to be doing it throughout the show,
I
Trev.
like this lemon now after I've had your fingers on there. I think this is a tasty little morsel. It's a treat for me.
Actually eating.
He's tucking in here. He
It's
actually
nice.
likes
I've
it.
had his
you
fingers in
sick
my mouth.
Animal.
It was disgusting.
It wasn't disgusting.
It was disgusting.
Trevor, you're supposed to be my friend. Can you not make me
Yeah,
out?
but no one wants.
I am your
like
friend, and I love you dearly. But exactly, your fingers
disgusting.
are not my friends. No.
My fingers are everybody's
No,
friends.
they're not. They're naughty
They
little
surely
things.
are. Russell, great feature on you in The Observer. Oh, why not have a look at that? It is rather nice. Who was that from? Rebecca. Thank you, darling.
Who doesn't exist?
Rebecca there from the recesses of my ego. That was a genuine message. I think that Trevor should only be allowed to speak if what he's saying are lyrics from a song in a musical. Curtis Lester, good suggestion, mate. I likes it. Okay, Trevor to sit with his pants full of ice cubes. He's a freak and needs help. Andy in Wiltshire. Thank you, Andy. Russ, every time Trev says something stupid, pull one nasal hair out. Two if it's really stupid.
Yeah,
That's
one of
from
your
Dale.
nasal
Of
hairs.
Trevor.
Yeah,
No, one of Russell's. That's what he meant.
Russell, you may have a doppelganger that's going around using your image to pull sleazy kiss and tells. I've often suspected this, actually. There's someone who looks exactly like me going out there behaving in an implausibly chauvinistic fashion.
Yeah,
Do you remember when you said without irony, "What's feeding this rumour mill"?
Why are people saying that I'm sleeping with all these women? Where is it coming from, Matthew? Where? Also, these stories about me being a megalomaniacal tyrant, where are they coming from as well? What is the source of this madness? Should we have some music then?
Oh, I thought we were going to do the Sonic Enigma.
Oh, all right. We'll do
should we
that in a
do that
minute. 'Cause we've been going on for ages. So we'll send us some more emails and texts and that if you wanna.
I can hear Trevor eating a lemon in my ear.
He's just, he's
That's
just
weird,
eating
isn't
it
it?
now.
That's my challenge.
From his
and
own
when
volition.
when I do the challenge,
If you're
it's
not gonna
actually quite
get
nice.
into it.
It's
Trevor,
really
don't
nice.
get into the show. In a minute, you'll be gleefully plucking your nasal hairs out.
I think he should be
saying dull
made
things.
to suck a bus driver's thumb.
It's the bus driver's thumb challenge.
I'd suck a bus driver's thumb. I like that. Is that a euphemism for something?
No, not in our minds, Trevor, but in your world, it's probably some nub found on an undercarriage. You can text us on 64046 or you can email us at russell.6music@bbc.co.uk. Rockaway Beach and Ramones, is that what's happening now?
It looks like it, doesn't
Let's do it, baby. Let's go crazy. The Ramones, Rockaway Beach. Listen to Russell Brand on 6 Music. It's a time of the show that we've all come to fear and loathe. Why, it's time for Trevor's Sonic Enigma, as he calls it, or me and Matt know it only as Trevor done a noise and stuff like that. Okay, Trev, did you make a trial for it this week?
I did, yes.
Well, let's hear the trial before
Proud
you...
of it?
Fairly reasonably proud of it, yeah.
Let's hear it
Have a
then.
listen.
Yeah.
It's Trevor's Sonic Enigma. It's
wrong with him?
Trevor's
It's rubbish.
Sonic Enigma.
Wheeling out the
Trevor's
Elvis impression
Sonic
again.
Enigma. It done a noise. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think it's still going on.
Continues, you self-indulgent.
Must do some shopping. later.
Trevor!
Trevor,
That's meant to be a
ridiculous.
catchy jingle. It's like it's been sent in by a
Trevor's Sonic Enigma.
You're all singing it. What can I say? What can
All
I
the
say?
kids will be. They'll have chicken's feet soon.
That is a sticker.
Singing that song.
They'll
That
be
is a
strumming away with their chicken's feet, tormenting their sisters, drowning their pets, giving their dogs voices. Trevor Locke's a phenomenon.
It's a catchy little number. What can I say?
I tell you, Trevor, the only Elvis impression I want to see from you is you straining yourself into an early death on a lavvy. That's all I want, Lockie. Okay, so why don't you explain for the benefit of our listeners what the Sonic Enigma is?
Right, I make an enigma out of sounds.
What about Matt? When it earlier in the week, Trevor, who were we
was he
with?
saying to?
We was with our new
Adam.
producer Adam, and Trevor, like we were talking about the radio show and the way we want the show to be, and Trevor went like he goes, yeah, I've got this enigma, this enigma that I do. So you know,
I've got to stay behind to work on my enigma.
yeah, he's talking about the enigma as if he's invented some sort of doomsday machine. Hadn't he? I've got the enigma. Of course, with the enigma comes great responsibility. It's just some lousy competition, Trevor. It's not a real thing. It's not really an enigma.
It is an enigma.
It's not an enigma. You
Yes,
are
it
an
is.
enigma, but you are baffling and you're a riddle. You're perplexing. But like he talks about it in the third person as if it's an organic thing that he's created, as if he's Dr. Frankenstein.
Of course, I talk about it in the third person. It's a thing, isn't it?
If it's not a person,
He's got a healthy respect for the enigma, as if it's a thing that could lash out at him.
if you ride the enigma, it'll take you on an incredible journey if the enigma loves you. But should the enigma turn against you, it could destroy us all. Embrace the enigma. Worship the enigma. Fall before its power. Feel the awe. So, Trev, go on, explain yourself.
Well, it's
and your
very
enigma.
simple. You just listen to the piece of sound that I've
Not
done.
simple, is it, Trev?
It
It's
is
like trying to work out why Rose West behaves she does in the manner that she does. It's just baffling and confusing and wrong.
Right.
Let's have a listen, shall we?
Oi! Here. Oi! Oi! That's it. Pick up that bag of brown. Now empty it all over me.
Drugs.
That's it. That's lovely. No, don't stop. Don't stop. That's it. Again. What? Oh.
What's wrong with him?
What the hell's that?
Trevor.
That is a sonic enigma, Matthew
certainly
Morgan.
Pick up a bag of brown.
Pick up a bag of brown.
Do you know what that means on
That's
the street?
heroin, Trevor. Pick
Is
up
it?
a bag of brown.
Well, I don't take heroin.
But I think you should probably start. It might subdue you. It's something with such a dick.
Oh, he can't call him a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, a div then. Let's just pretend it was a
Well, you
stutter.
bring it on. I'll let the listeners make up their own minds about what you say.
Well, no, because I think they already have. We've had hundreds of suggestions of cruel things to do to you.
Seems that they look at you, Trevor, as some ludicrous gimp who they enjoy seeing tortured. It's not out there. It's not like the jury's hung. It's not like people are undecided. We all know what you are, Trevor.
So, should we listen to that again?
I mean, it takes, as usual, about an age.
It's 20 seconds, but we can
It's 20
snigger
seconds.
through it.
That's a third less than it normally is.
And what
it's
about,
not.
Matthew, what about the big, do it again. So it's just like, if you don't mind colloquial references to opiates and clear, dirty sex talk, then this is the enigma for you. Let's have another listen, Matt.
Oi! Here. Oi! Oi! That's it. Pick up that bag of brown. Now empty it all over me.
I like that noise.
That's it. That's lovely. No, don't stop. Don't stop! That's it. Again. What? Lovely.
That is weird.
I can just see Mike's daughter Taylor out there looking at the Panini sisters, trying to work out what the hell that is. This is the first time in her childhood she's been exposed to that kind of severe mental illness. Taylor, don't worry, we'll explain everything to you later.
I'm glad she's
poor kid.
perplexed after that Brussels sprout thing she's inflicted upon
You're
me.
going to eat those Brussels sprouts, Trevor, one by one without a single chew. So if you know what that sonic enigma is, you can text us on 64046 or you can email us at russell.6music@bbc.co.uk. What we're listening to now, Matthew?
AC/DC.
Ooh, it's going to get some exciting in here. Back in Black, AC/DC. You listen to Russell Brand on 6 Music. Blimey, what a show it's been so far. You enjoying it, Matt?
Yeah, I'm having a whale of a time.
It's been really crazy. Trev, you enjoying yourself?
I certainly am.
Trev is preparing to serenade Noel Gallagher with one of his own tracks.
One
Don't
of
show
Noel's,
off,
one of
Trev.
Noel's own tracks, not one of mine.
Yeah, well,
Look at the
yeah.
way he's got his hand resting over there, like an old sage, an old
Trev, you're not
storyteller.
old.
Sage.
Go on then, what are you going to do? What are you, a minstrel, Trev?
I am a minstrel. I've been a minstrel before. I've been a troubadour.
You've not been
Yeah, he
anything-
was a troubadour.
Was he a
once.
troubadour?
Yeah, he told us he's travelled around Italy in a
Okay,
car.
we've got some answers. I nearly ruined the tension, but we've got some wrong answers for Trevor's Sonic Enigma. We don't know if these answers are right or wrong at this stage. Let's try. Aaron says, is it Come Again by Ian Brown? Is it, Trev?
No.
Or you can see why you
That's
might think
nuts.
that. Is it Jumble Jumble by the White Stripes? That's from Van Luke in Chichester.
Don't even know what that means.
Is it someone emptying brown sugar over their coffee? That's not a song.
They've missed the point.
Nice one, Alex, though. I like the way you think now.
It's got to be a song, Alex. All right, mate? It's got to be a title of a song, not a thing that happens.
Don't sneer, Trev. People don't like that. Russ, can you give a get well message to our postman Tim in Manchester who's got concussion? Get well, Tim, old bean. Hilariously somersaulted on his head, kicking a beer can after the Trinidad game.
See what I mean?
Nice one.
Russell's verbal
Exactly,
enigma.
yeah.
When he tries to read.
Not verbal
Kicking a
enigma.
beer can. There, hello, yes. Hello, Russell, text.
If you can decipher what I mean by this language. No, it's clearly what's happened is a postman kicked a beer can.
It's like a poem by
It's
Lawrence
boring.
Ferlinghetti.
A postman kicked a beer can.
This is another message. Stop victimising me. I had a horrible childhood. If you look at any observer, you'll see that.
Stop victimising you.
Yeah, stop victimising
He had to
me.
eat your hair and a lemon.
This is what happens, though. That's what happens. But that's how bullies are. Bullies were always bullied.
Bullies
and
are
then they
being
pass it on.
bullied.
Yeah.
Good. At least there's some justice in the world. This is from Aaron, who initially... It's good. It's a karmic cycle of bullying. I like it.
It's not.
This is from Aaron, right, who thought the brilliant genius behind the whole lemon thing.
Yeah, thanks for that, Aaron,
Oh, it's
because
not-
that has disinfected
Okay,
my mouth
Matt,
from his
read it
fingernails.
in our Jeremy Irons voice. It is Jeremy Irons, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Dead birds, you say? Sounds interesting. But don't let Trevor kill them. His challenge should not involve his hobby.
Yeah, Trev, you don't get pleasure from killing these birds. We just find a dead bird on the street, jam it in your dirty gullet with my clean, beautiful fingers. Oh, no, this is a bit awful. This is Liz from Southampton says, attachments. Russ lets himself down in front of the nation. Oh, no. Russell, you can't deny it. You've been caught on the webcam. I think there might be a photograph of me picking my nose on the webcam.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me, because
Wouldn't
that's all you're
surprise.
doing with your
Constant.
fingers.
It
If they're
takes
not in my mouth,
You don't
they're up
even
your
know you're
nose.
doing it. You don't even know you're doing it.
I don't even know what
You don't even know you're doing it.
Can you please just help me? I want to be better. I want to be a good girl. Just let me go to the promenade. It's the kind of thing I think. So here, back to the Sonic Enigma. Is it Brownsville Girl by Bob Dylan, asks Philippa.
No.
Is it Brown Sugar by the Stones? Alex in Winchester.
No, that's
That's
close.
a good.
Brown
Okay.
Sugar by the Stones.
Yeah.
Golden Brown. Is that the Enigma for today by Stranglers? That's
No.
from Mark.
No.
It's about heroin.
So everyone's stop going on about heroin.
I thought it was about sunshine turning you a nice colour in the
That's
sun.
because you're a naive jerk, Trevor. That is why you had a Sonic Enigma that had, go and get us a bag of brown, man. Wow, I'm off my face. Yeah, let's get off it and chase the dragon. Let's have a boot. That's why, because you use about 20 heroin colloquialisms, Trev. I'm thinking that it's the kind of thing you could broadcast at a church
On
fete.
the boot, yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember
old
that?
colloquialism.
Oh, those were the days, weren't they, Matt? So,
Don't say that like I was involved.
Well, no, Matt was not involved in my drug addiction. He's always been a good lad and a good friend. So should we, we're going to listen to the Beatles. It won't be long. That's brilliant. But first we're going to have this trail, yeah? And then a little bit more. We've got to work out that Sonic Enigma. If you know the answer, 64046, russell.6music at bbc.co.uk. Let's have a trail and then the Beatles.
BBC Six Music.
Lovely on Paul McCartney's birthday. Happy birthday, Sir Paul McCartney. So you're listening to Russell Brand on Six Music. That was the Beatles. Oh, you're right, Matt.
Yes.
Trev's been strumming away, practicing his serenade, so we're going to call up Noel Gallagher now. One of Trev's challenges was to ring Noel Gallagher and serenade him with his own song. Let's ring up Noel. Who's got the phone? Who's going to dial it? Mark, our producer, is dialing the number now. Lift the desk up so we can hear the phone ring. It will sound really organic and great, man.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Some more guesses for your Sonic Enigma, Trev. Is it 99 Red Balloons by Nana?
No.
That's from
How on earth would you
Martin
come to
Treasure.
that?
Yeah, that
I
is
don't know.
nuts thing to think.
Some people just say random things.
Yeah, they do.
Sounds like Trevor was waiting for the man. We can't hear the ring. Oh, it's ringing. Right, it's ringing. Get ready to serenade him.
Hello?
Hello, Noel. Listen to this.
Slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play?
Trying to do Noel Gallagher as Elvis.
You said that you've never been. All the things that you've seen are gonna fade away.
It sounds like Elvis's
So I start a
final.
revolution in my bed.
Is that Johnny Cash singing from Beyond the Grave?
Said the
Johnny
brains
Cash.
I had went to
Johnny
my
Cash
head.
does Oasis.
Step outside the
Noel's been forced to endure this.
summertime's in bloom. Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. 'Cause you ain't never gonna burn my heart out.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah,
All right, that'll do. We
Oh,
get
no,
it.
you gotta get to the chorus.
All right, to the chorus.
So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as we're walking on by.
Thank you very much.
Her soul slides away, but don't look back in anger. I heard her say,
Hey, I tell you what.
What do you think of that, Noel?
I'll tell you that should have been the theme tune to Brokeback Mountain.
That really could have been. That should have been on the score.
That sounded like three gay cowboys just singing on the campfire.
Hang on, we weren't all singing.
We weren't all singing about that, but we are. I think there is a strong camp element to Oasis music.
Absolutely, that's the subtext of that song. Surely 3 gay cowboys singing around a campfire just before they get down to it.
I've never quite understood who Sally is, but now I think I'm getting a better picture of that.
It seems that Sally is Trevor's boyfriend. That's what it seems like. Did you mind that, Noel? That was a challenge, because we're doing this thing where we've got to challenge Trevor Locke. One of our listeners says, I'll get him to serenade Noel with one of Noel's own songs.
I admire his bravery for that, actually, because he knows that while he's at work on Sunday morning, I only live literally around the corner.
Yeah, you are literally around the corner. You could pop in here.
I could come down and let the tyres down on his bike.
That would be the work of a moment for you, Noel. We all previous, letting down bike tyres.
I'd like to see him do a cover version of one of my tracks.
Yeah, we'd all like to see that, Trevor.
Have you written any tracks?
Yeah, I have. The Magic of Richard Clayderman is probably my best one.
Yeah, also...
What, you've written songs?
Yeah, I have, mate, yeah.
Mostly they're odes about killing rodents and making clothes from their pelts, if we're honest. Also, Noel, perhaps if you were to let down the tyres on his bike, he might attack you, grapple with you in the dust. We all know Trevor can be quite brutal in a violent situation.
Yeah, well, he claims, doesn't he? I mean, there is no evidence about that, up, is there?
There's no real evidence. It's just one of the many bodacious claims. No, I hope you've looked at the Observer today, because if you have, you'll have seen a nice article about old Russ in which I announced to the world that you're doing a charity gig.
Do what? You announced to the world of what?
I announced to the world that you're doing that charity gig. I go, yeah, Noel Gallagher's doing this charity gig to raise money for Focus 12. He's agreed to it. It'll be brilliant. Tickets on sale now. I've already started selling them, so I hope it is all right. I hope it works out. It's going to be very embarrassing. Otherwise, we've got Trevor Locke live at Coco doing Oasis numbers.
Great. Well, I tell you what, I'll do it, right? As long as he does, as long as he gets up and does a version of that song dressed as one of the cowboys from Brokeback Mountain.
No problem. You're there, aren't you, Trev? You're doing that.
I'll do that. Yeah.
With a lemon in his mouth.
Why stop at his mouth? The boy's smothered in orifices. He's like a fruit machine of a man. Okay, well that sounds excellent. So, where are you coming back home? Are you today?
I'm just leaving to go to the airport. Actually, I went out on a boat yesterday and got extremely sunburned like an idiot. I didn't put any sun cream on, so I look like a lunatic.
Right. Why is that? Why didn't you put sun cream on?
Because I'm a northerner.
Why? I suppose what? So you don't have sun in the north. So you just.
The thing is, you go out in the med, right? And the missus has got the sun cream out, and do you want some of that? No chance.
What, do you think I'm some sort of puffer or something? And now you've got a big glowing beacon of a bonce.
Yeah, I'm not putting cream on me. It looks like jism.
Thank you for that. Apologise. We all know what he's like. He's a national hero. He's an icon. He can say what he wants, can't he? But those are not the views of the BBC. Thank you very much, Noel. Okay, right. So why don't you give my love to Sarah in a verbal way, and come back later. Oh, hold on. Let me tell you. There's another thing that I wanted to read you this, Noel. I've moved away from the mic. Already I've had to deny this morning having an affair with Tamara Beckwith. Remember her it girl, Tamara Beckwith. Yesterday in the Mirror, in the 3am girls, Kiki King, Eva Simpson and Caroline Headley, www.mirror.co.uk, 3am girls, say, listen to the headline, he's a vile predator. Guess who they're talking about, Noel? Oh, Russ.
I don't know. Is he talking about you?
Talking about me.
It seems to me, right, that the last, maybe for the last month, all you've done is call me up on my holidays and read out Kiss and Tell. You're either trying to make me jealous.
That's what's going on back in Blighty.
Yeah, get a load of this.
We're kicking it here in Albion.
So, who have you got up the duff this time?
Well, it seems that Dannii Minogue's carrying one of my mutants.
I hate Dannii Minogue.
Do you, mate? There's the headline. Nice one. So, no, I'm not keen on her after this business. Danny's verdict on Sex Mad Brand after he pushes his luck on TV show. We knew it wouldn't be long before Russell Brand's rampant womanising landed him in trouble. It lists some people that I've tried to chat up. Shaking it, like it says, Dannii Minogue was far from won over by him on our MTV show. Shaking her head in disbelief, she dismissed it. Shaking her head in disbelief. It beggars belief.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, who would do a thing like that? She dismissed him as a vile predator. Oh, he's just a vile predator. After he leeched over her fabulous breasts. I was on a television programme. I'm not going to lech over her, and pestered her for a phone number after he followed her down a corridor. Ridiculous, untrue lies.
It's a bit true.
What, is that on your one Leicester Square thing?
That's right, mate.
I was there, and that was a little bit true.
Well, I offered her my phone number because I was worried about her.
But there was a lot of people around. It wasn't like you cornered her on her own.
Oh, darling. The reason I gave her my phone number, Matt, I'll be honest with you, I was worried about her. She seemed fragile. I thought she was on the edge and she might need some support. It goes, it came after reformed sex addict and druggie Russell interviewed her on that show. Dannii told us he is completely crazy and a bit of a vile predator. I certainly don't think he's cured his sex addiction, that's for sure. He wouldn't take no for an answer. Chatting to us at some party in London, she said, he always goes that step too far. Never quite far enough to slap his face, but usually too far.
He always... Does she know you well then, or is that the first time? He always goes that step too far. How dare she?
How dare she say that, Noel? Yeah. He's obviously very intelligent. Fair enough, not all of this story is lies. But wears more makeup... wears more makeup than I do. Well, you know, Jesus Christ. Put a bit of slap on. No, she's a nice enough girl, I
She's
suppose.
a lovely girl.
She looks a bit odd, though. She looks a bit sort of bird-faced.
Of course she looks a bit odd.
Yeah,
she's weird, man.
Is she a bit weird? How come she's...
Well, I mean, I've never met her, but I just find her... She's quite unsavoury, I think, isn't she?
Yeah, well, I'm beginning to lose... You know, I'm falling out of love with her. Normally, I love guys with eyeliner on. It can be very sexy, but not on Russell. Absolutely no way, never. He's just not my type. Dannii had gone on to Russell's show to talk about a record. She said, I was told he got sacked
That was a quick conversation, wasn't it?
We tried to drag it out by saying, what's this material? Plastic, is it, that you've used? Interesting stuff. Was it made in a factory? She goes, I was told he got sacked from MTV in the past for wearing an Osama bin Laden costume to work the day after September 11th. I couldn't believe that I just agreed to be interviewed by someone who'd do something like that. It really unnerved me. And then throughout the whole interview, he kept making shocking remarks that I can't even repeat. Just uttering the words would make me blush. So to spare Danny's blushes, we've printed the naughty bits of Potty Mouth Russell's interview. Right, and then they have put it, Russellgate, they've called it. And then it goes, Russell, if I directed your video, I would include a bit of erotic dancing. You like a good old lap dance, don't you? Dannii responds, we should go lap dancing together sometime. So immediately she suggested going lap dancing.
Yeah, and that was in response to her, those stories about her going
lap dancing, lusting over women in what can only be described as a saucy way. So
we've all seen the pictures, haven't we?
We all saw the pictures.
We all saw the pictures.
Who's the vile predator, Dannii? Who's the vile predator?
That's the sex industry she's funding.
She's funding the sex industry. They bring women over. Sex slaves are brought over from poor former communist nations to satisfy Dannii Minogue's lust. You are supporting that, Dannii. You are the bottom of a pyramid of misogyny, Dannii Minogue. Right, then I respond to that. Better still, I've got a shed at the back of my garden where we could erect a pole and lap dance in private. Right, that's not...
You said that to her?
I said that to her. Clearly a joke. I have got a shed, and there is a lap dancing pole in it. But would I let her in there? Not on your Nelly. Ridiculous thing to say. Then she says later, I'm off the idea of marriage. And then I say, you just have to get off with presenters you meet on chat shows now, don't you? That was in response to something she said about poor dear Jamie Theakston, attacking him out of nowhere. Give me your phone number then, love. I said in what can only be described as a comical voice. So I think right there...
What did she think she was going on, Newsnight or something?
I think so. And I think it's only a matter of time before she appears on Newsnight, forced to justify why she's funding the sex industry and dragging poor Czechoslovakian women into the gutter. So there we go. We've dealt with that problem. So no, you're going to come and see me do stand up tonight, then, mate.
I am, yeah. Yeah, we're going to bowl down after we get back from the airport. I think I'll be in about. We don't need to go into the details now.
I suppose not really. No,
you shouldn't have said that on the radio.
I'll give you a ring later on.
All right, mate, and I'll look out for your big, glowing, proud Northern bonce gleaming out of the audience.
Big, glowing, proud Mercedes-Benz.
Woo! Yeah. Boasting about money, Noel Gallagher. Who bought it?
When you've got as much as I have, there's no need to boast, Russell.
It's difficult to avoid it, though, I suppose. Noel, thank you very much for your time. As always, you've been fantastic. I think we're going to play a little track called Don't Look Back in Anger to try and resurrect the corpse that Trevor Locke has just made of it.
When you get to the chorus, shut your eyes and think of two cowboys naked from the waist down.
I think Trevor Locke would do that anyway, but we're going to join him in that. Noel, thanks for your time, mate. I'll see you both later.
I'll see you later.
See you later,
now.
Bye.
Don't Look Back in Anger from Oasis. Let's have a listen to that. Trevor, sit back and learn and think of some chaps. Don't Look Back in Anger, which now has become an anthem of cowboy homoerotic relationships. Don't look back over your own shoulder angrily at Trevor Locke wearing a pair of chaps and a cowboy hat going, no, I've got another medley for you. Blimey, so that was good. And so Noel Gallagher specifically asked us to think of Trevor Locke in an erotic clinch during that, and quite frankly, it wasn't difficult. Let's go back to Trevor's Sonic Enigma, which I imagine he's going to find it hard to focus on because the Panini sisters are in here now. Hello, girls.
Hello.
We have to do that clapping thing.
Oh, yeah, atmosphere. Yeah, all right, okay, yeah, man, we're living. This is life happening all around us. So, girls, do you feel nervous to be in the presence of Trevor?
Yes. Yeah. Positively trembling.
Yeah, just let the desks remain between you because he's relatively safe over there. But also, we've taken the caution of bringing Taylor, Mike's daughter. And how old are you, Taylor?
9.
You're 9. Okay, so we've got a 9-year-old girl here, so that should hopefully keep Trevor under some kind of control. Okay, so remember, Trevor, before you start lunging at the girls...
I won't be doing any lunging,
there's
and you know that well. I'm not a
child
lunger.
here.
Okay.
Okay, so, Trev...
Yes.
Here's some entries to your sonic enigma, which sounds more and more like a euphemism every time I say it. This is from Dewey from Atlantis. Amazing, that's a city under the sea, isn't it? Dewey, wow, we've got mythical people communicating. Then there's Ben in Troy. Is it cover me with a huge supermarket bag full of hundreds of thousands while I sit in the bath taking illegal substances? That's from Dewey in Atlantis. Is it that, Trevor?
Well, who's that by? He doesn't say who it's by, so he's not eligible.
Trevor, it's clearly a joke. People joining in with our show and you're attacking them. What's wrong with you? No wonder Noel Gallagher actually hates you. Right, this is from Christian. Would it be too sordid to suggest Sugar Baby Love by the Rubettes, aware as we are of Trevor's online behaviour? I'm going to term that. I'll show you what he actually said later. And if it's not, is it Filthy Bird by Robin Hitchcock? Is it Filthy Bird, Trevor?
I don't know that song, no.
Okay, this is from Stephen Lamberton in Derby. I reckon the answer to the shambolic piece of tat that Trev brings to your quality radio programme is smack my bitch up. Good point. But Trevor didn't know that Bag of Brown meant that. In this episode, Trevor, of course, plays the part of the bitch who invites the smacking up. That is ultimately the role Trevor plays in life. One of a bitch awaiting a smack that's soon to be delivered. Is it Brown Bag by Marilyn Manson, says Dannii in Bognor Regis.
No idea what he's on about. Marilyn Manson.
That's right.
No.
That's not on Trevor's radar.
Is it Cover Me, Bruce Springsteen, cover of the Rolling Stone, Captain Hook covered in oil, AC/DC? Aaron, I know that was one of my verbal Tetris. I'm just reading what's there. Like a Dalek reading it out. Okay, is it Teenage Kicks from the Undertones, from Sarah?
Absurd, Sarah. What is your reasoning for that?
Is it Papa's Got a Brand New Bag by James Brown? I doubt it, but it kind of makes sense. That's from Tristan, is that right, Trev?
No, Tristan.
Brown Paper Bag by Ronnie Size. Van Luke.
No.
Brown M&M's Hot Tequila by Jamiroquai.
Is that
from Colchester.
Oh, good God, no.
What's taking it to JK
well,
for?
As if I did,
Because why? Because you bump into him sometimes out on the womanising circuit, the pair of you.
Squibbly, wibbly, wibbly, woo, 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 wiki whack, wiki whack. That's...
Leave Jamiroquai alone. What's he done to you?
Wiggy, wiggy, wag, wag.
Trevor,
what the earth are you saying,
that is like the soundtrack to Trevor's private life now.
Wiggy, whack, whack. That's what it is.
That's not what he does.
That's what he does, isn't it?
You're showing yourself up in front of the Papini sisters who you have tried so hard to court these past few weeks. They're actually in front of you now, Trev, and you are blowing it big time, baby. What do you make of him, girls?
That's all right.
Oh, come on, he's a massive twerp.
Thanks very much.
Looks good sucking a lemon.
He really does, but that's the only thing you want to see him already engaged with, let me tell you. Is it Mr. Brownstone by Guns N' Roses from Stone Site in Brighton? Nice one, fellas. Is it?
No, it's not, but
good song, though.
It's a good song, yeah.
Is it Chakademus and Pliers, Looking in Your Big Brown Eye, which I can only imagine is a story about using someone's bum as a telescope? That's Graham's suggestion. Is it that, Trev?
No, but that will be another enigma and another date now.
Trevor, you yourself are an enigma. Should we have some pixies now and try and find someone who can work out your enigma? Then we're going to have music from the Papini sisters. We're going to have Taylor as a moral arbiter to keep this show online. Are you all right, Taylor? Yeah. You're a good girl. Let's listen to the Pixies. Pixies there. Listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. What was the observation, Matt, that you made about that riff people might be interested in?
It's very similar to Teen Spirit
Must
in the
have
middle. But Kurt Cobain's quite open about it being an influence.
I see. Well, that's good. We got an email here from Edwina in Yorkshire. Hi, guys. I had to write with regard to Dannii Minogue promoting her new record, The Hits and Beyond, as I can't think of one hit. What were her hits? Perhaps you should rename it Beyond. That's a bit mean, I know, but she's brought it on herself. Edwina in Yorkshire. Edwina, those are your views, and we endorse them. So, okay, here's another. Right, we're trying to do Trevor's Sonic Enigma. We've got the Papini sisters. Hello, girls.
Hello.
Blimey, even when you speak it in a kind of barbershop way, it's so endearing to be around you.
Why not?
To give us a little blast of something special, by which I mean a song, not the sort of request Trevor will make of you the minute the show comes off air, I imagine. Give us a blast, girls, he'll say, strumming away on his guitar and more besides.
Okay, we're going to give you a bit of panic.
Let's have it. I think you've already panicked, Trevor, just by being here. His adolescent libido raging up and down his spine. Magnificent from the Panini. Atmosphere. What made that? It was brilliant. It's wonderful. It is. I can see why Trevor's developed such a crush on you. It's beautiful, charming to see you in action. Comes across attractive. What isn't attractive is watching Trevor sprawled, legs akimbo, attacking himself like a man fighting himself in a garden centre, enjoying his life there. While he's disturbing to watch. Let's wrap up this Sonic Enigma. Is it whistling? Is it? The whistling at the beginning sounded like the birds, but brown stuff, man, this week's is hard, mental, from Mr. M. Whitby, Esquire, in the parish of Thatcham in Berkshire. It's the most official message we've ever received.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I would like that to happen in the future. If you're going to enter this competition, please put the parish that you're a member of.
Please do put the parish. Trevor, you're like a dictator, a lusty dictator. Read the Enigma. This is from Steve. I believe it used to be a dog owner using his canine charge's faeces for manuring his own hair growth. No, that can't be right. I'm close, though, from Steve.
See, look, that's another one.
I don't know what's going on. I can't
read them through,
Read them
please,
properly before you read them out.
I think they're funny. Okay, so we've got Louisa on the line to enter the Sonic Enigma. Louisa, are you well, my darling?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, we're ever so good today. I mean, we're worried about Trevor. Yeah, Trevor, have another bite of the lemon. He's there. He's eating it willingly now. What's wrong with him?
It's a really good thing to do. I would urge listeners to get into this.
Trevor,
It's
don't
really
listen
nice.
to any of Trevor Locke's urges,
It's
or you'll
healthy.
find yourself being attacked on MySpace before the day is done. Panini Sisters. What? Can we just clarify once and for all your name?
Papini sister.
Papini Sisters. And what's that coming from?
It's my surname, it's not that
Well, you're megalomaniac. What about the other two? Don't you mind having it? Like, you're
I
not.
thought the Irish mafia was a little, because our surnames are Irish.
What are your both of your? What are your surnames?
O'Brien.
The O'Brien sisters. Sounds threatening. The O'Brien sisters are going to shoot you in the knees if you don't behave yourself. Tar and feather 'em. You're a black and tan. You're a black and tan. And what's your surname? Mullins.
The Mullins sisters.
The Mullinses are here.
How you doing?
I'm not making light of the situation in Northern Ireland. It's all the one country, and we should never have got involved. There's my view on the situation.
Hold on, that's worse.
That's quite...
Oh no! Is that much worse? Okay, hey, I'm an English
I'm not
person.
making light of it, but I'm going to take one side in it.
I'm going to take a really one-sided view on the situation. Hey, it's all the one country. That border goes through rivers and people's houses. Okay, so... Whoa!
Careful.
Okay, so Louisa, what are you saying, my love?
What was I saying?
Oh, yes. You've got to give the answer to Trevor. Shall we listen to Trevor's Sonic Enigma once more and try and move away from the catastrophic views?
Oi! Here. Oi! Oi! That's it. Pick up that bag of brown. Now empty it all over me. Oh! That's it. That's lovely.
I think that's enough.
No, don't stop. Don't
Trevor?
stop. That's it.
Oh,
Again.
that's
in the thing.
That's in the Enigma. Don't stop, that was weird. Okay, so Louisa, having listened to that and cleansed your palate but with conversation with Matt, myself and the Panini sisters, what do you think the answer to that is?
I'm rather worried that I know the answer at all, but it's Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard.
Is it Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard, Trevor?
Yes, it is. Well done, Louisa.
Woo! Yeah! Matt's attempt at creating atmosphere was so listless there, but you were the only one that did it.
I'm committed to the atmosphere.
You
creation.
really are.
He's excited by the competition, mate.
It's nice to see that. It's nice to see that joie de vivre in such a cynical man. We've got Matt's cultural review coming up later. As you all know, Matt lives outside of culture because he's what can only be described as a thug. Louisa, you've won that
Not at
competition.
all.
Are you going to come down to the studio next week and join us?
I can't think of anything I'd rather do.
Well, all right. Let me give you some suggestions. Sit alone, crying without Trevor Locke near you.
Well, that was my second option.
Right, okay, well, you're going to be coming in here. You won't get any prizes despite what either of these boys promise you. Thank you very much. We're going to have a... what we're going to do, we're going straight into the news.
Yeah,
we're going to play Def Leppard, Put Some Sugar on Me, after the news. There'll be more from the Panini Sisters too, but let's have some news.
BBC Six Music.
SEN, Only Love Can Break Your Heart.
That was really rude.
Cover of Neil Young. What was rude, Trev?
Well,
Listen
you
to Russell
told
Brand on
the
Six
Panini
Music.
sisters to be quiet then.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Trevor.
We just wouldn't shut up though.
I'll tell you what is rude, Trevor.
I tried
Stalking the
politeness.
Papini Sisters. Matt employed politeness there. What Trevor's way of communicating with the Papini sisters is to put soiled nappies through their letterbox. So you decide who's the rude one in this arrangement. Is it old Russ? Ask them to shut up before we go live on it in the nicest possible way, really. We've got Taylor here, our 9-year-old correspondent, who's been brought in essentially as a moral barometer to stop Trev going on about killing animals. You're right, Taylor. Come over to the mic, hun. Do you want to say right now? Let's tell the world what you are. You're 9. What's your name?
Taylor Hanson.
Taylor Hanson. How old are you?
9 years old.
And what's your favourite subject?
Art, I guess.
Are you good at art?
Probably.
What aspect of art do you like most? Drawing stuff?
Yeah.
Like drawing stuff. Perhaps can you draw us a picture of Trevor?
Okay.
Brilliant. We'll get you some stuff. Draw a picture of him eating lemon. What did you want Trevor to do as a challenge?
Eat Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, let's make him eat Brussels
why,
sprouts.
Taylor? Why? Do you like Brussels sprouts?
Yeah.
It's kind of a gift, Trev.
Fair enough then.
Why do you want him to eat Brussels sprouts, Taylor?
I don't know. It's because I know everybody hates Brussels
Clever,
sprouts.
clever. I like that. She's a good producer, this kid. She'll be running this show in a couple of weeks, I imagine. I mean, she couldn't be worse than the goons we've got at the moment. Let's be honest. Look at Mark and Adam. The pair. Oh, they're hurt by that. We love our producers on this show. Okay, Papini sisters, we've finally got your name down. Are you going to give us something special, Trevor? Stay on your seat. Stay on your seat, Trevor. He reared up on his hindquarters like a praying mantis.
I got all jeckled up, didn't I?
He got all jeckled up, like our friend Cyril says. He got all jeckled up. He says that, I think, when he says that a man moves into the dark part of his nature, Jekyll and Hyde. But Jekyll was the nice one, wasn't he? So
Move on.
move on.
Very tenuous link.
Okay, guys. Well done, you, Taylor. That was brilliant. Right, so, okay, Papini sisters, then. So, actually, you've got a challenge for Trev. We're challenging Trevor.
Yes, we do now.
What is your challenge, girls?
Get this right. We stumbled across some caffeine pouches.
Stumbled across them? How? Where?
Caffeine pouches?
It's quite by chance.
Where are you stumbling about? What kind of lives do you girls lead?
Hang on, this is good. Go on, girls.
So, naturally, we thought, get this, Trevor in a ball gown, which we don't have, with red lipstick on and 3 caffeine patches on his head, singing along on the next song on hard glass.
Come on, Trev, get over here and put these caffeine patches on.
What, now?
How do they work? Do it now.
Perhaps Taylor could oblige and...
Careful, don't let her get him on herself, because it's all caffeine.
But I don't understand what a caffeine pouch is.
A caffeine pouch, Trevor, is a man's libido. So where a man keeps his babies. Right, Trevor, you're going to get all animated and overexcited.
This could be dangerous.
Of course it could be. Stick them on him.
Give us your head.
Right, put them onto veins. Put them mainline caffeine. This is not being used intravenously. They're just patches.
Please, if this isn't wise, please text in immediately.
And also, could you try
one
and
on his neck?
Get one on his neck, right, the jugular. Get one on the jugular.
Please. They're putting 3 caffeine pouches on me.
Patches, not pouches.
They're not
It's
called
patches.
pouches, Trev. It's not a kangaroo's undercarriage. What's wrong with you?
Is this good for me?
Of course it's good.
Can I overdose on caffeine?
Finishing touches. Now they're putting lipstick on
Put
Trevor.
lipstick on him.
Right, Trevor, we'll get a webcam photo of this. He looks
Pull his
lovely.
trousers down.
Taylor, you've got to draw this, darling. Right, so draw him. Oh, he looks... Taylor, doesn't he look pretty?
Oh, little girl.
He is a little girly, Taylor. Come of the hour, come of the man. You feel... Trev, you look so pretty. I've never thought of you like that. Trevor's got rouge on, he's got lipstick on, he's caffeinated up, he's romping around like Hulk Hogan in drag. He's never been sexier. Get over to your own mic, Trev, you're making me feel sick.
What are we doing then?
If you like widow twanky, you really do, Trevor, in your ridiculous man from Del Monte suit. A man from a Del Monte
Some of
sleeping
your
in a
patches
door.
have fallen off.
Get
Put them back on.
That's not allowed.
Touch my fingers.
These are affecting me. I'm beginning. My heart rate's going up.
Put them in your mouth.
That's because of the Papini sisters. Hold them on, you perverts.
Why would anyone have a caffeine pouch?
Patch, man, Patch, what's wrong with you? Why do you?
Because you haven't got time to have a coffee, you just stick it to your arm or something.
This is equivalent to 3 mockers. I've had one mocker already.
Trev, you're surrounded by mockers and you are indeed a mockery. Hold that to your throat. Hold it to your throat, Trevor.
Yeah,
how do you
my heart rate is
feel?
increasing.
Yeah, is your heart rate increasing?
My vision is getting blurred.
Good. Your vision has always been
blushing.
blurred. Anyone who's heard your enigma working when knows you have no vision.
can't find
Trevor,
my pulse.
stand it. What minutes
lost
does
my
the
pulse.
Shut up, Trev. What time does the webcam take photos?
Every 6 minutes.
Every 6 minutes. When's the next one due?
By then.
We can't tell.
It'll be 46.
46, right? 46. Everyone check the webcam. See what a ridiculous joke Trevor Lock has become. Here's your king now. Okay, so girls, give us what you're going to give us. What you're going to sing for us, and Trevor's going to join in. But first of all, let them establish the song, Trev, so people don't hear the Papini sisters and think they're rubbish. So go on, let's hear how. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that to protect you. Because if he joined it in from the beginning,
Don't
he'd
let
ruin
him
it.
join in.
Don't let him join in.
On the guitar.
All right, let's let him have a quick go.
It doesn't matter.
Matthew, we've got to let him join in. He's got dressed up for it now.
Yeah.
He looks so pretty.
Spasm.
Of course they're spasming. Lord almighty.
Can you give us an E, Trev, please?
Yeah, of course.
Don't encourage him. Have you seen him with the anodine pipe?
I'll give you a bag of brown.
Oh, but just for the Taylor. Right, okay then. Right, so go on then, girls. Far away.
Okay. Oh no, we need to tell Russ, Trevor, what we're doing. We're doing.
Trevor, you shut up for a bit and join them in a minute. They're
This
doing
is
Heart of
good
Glass.
radio.
Heart of glass.
Right, Trevor, you shut
Hi,
up.
Elvis.
Girls start.
They sing, you just.
Girls start.
Wow.
Well, your look's beautiful.
Trevor, you look lovely, but
I'm
you've
off my
just.
face now. This is really affecting me. I'm getting,
Is it actually working?
The colours are getting vivid. I'm
Get in front of
confused.
the webcam photos coming up. Oh, Trevor.
I don't know where the webcam is.
I don't know where the webcam is. I don't know where the webcam is. You poor baffled twerp. We've been here about 6 weeks, Trevor. You should know what's going on. Yeah, well, you knew where it was when it took a photograph of your ridiculous winky and nearly got us thrown off the air.
That was mine.
That was Matt's winky. Lovely thing.
My winky is not ridiculous.
Trevor. You know, talk to your wife about that, Trev. Oh no, sorry, she's in another continent. Okay, so let's listen to Breathless, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Well done, girls. Well done, Taylor. Matt, you've been great. Trevor, I'm surprised at you. Let's listen to Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Good, wasn't it, Matt?
Brilliant. I love
Me and
that
Matt,
song.
yeah, it's brilliant. But we're having to run the radio show because Trev is mooching about photographing the Papini sisters, pestering and bothering them, sniffing round them like a little randy hound.
How do you feel on the caffeine?
I feel really sparked up. I tell you.
Really though?
Yeah, absolutely sparked up. Maybe it's a sort of psychological thing. Maybe it's
Most things seem to be a psychological thing with you, Trev, like putting on women's makeup, like killing animals.
Put it on.
Trevor, I do it in an
dress me up like a
artistic way.
rag doll.
I'm on the television, Trevor. I wear makeup like all people on
Just have a
telly.
picture.
Not like you with your Buffalo Bill suits made out of women's skin. Taylor's done a picture of Trevor. Let's have a look at it. Come over to the mic, honey. Oh, this is going on the website. It's an incredible likeness of Trevor. She's done his blusher and his big eyes, and there's a speech bubble coming out of his mouth. Taylor, come here, darling, and tell people what is Trevor saying in your picture.
You pretty little girl.
That's exactly what he's saying. Ain't I a pretty little girl? And that's what we all think of when we look at cocky Trevor Lockie. How does it
This is
feel?
going to end in a tragedy.
What do you mean? Is that a threat, Trevor? Is that a threat? Because I will remind you, we're on the BBC, and before I let you anywhere near that child, I tell you what, me and Matt will take you down to Chinatown. We really will.
You're going to end up doing something you regret to me.
I can't see how that can happen, Trev.
Well, you put caffeine patches on me and giving me palpitations.
Trev-
You dress me up like a little lady.
Trevor, if one day Matthew and I end up poring over your corpse, it will be a beautiful day for us both and a great day for this radio show. I'm joking. I love him. We all love him. Look at his little face. And it literally a little face, as Stuart Lee and Richard Herring used to constantly remind him on Richard Not Judy, where they went on and on about his little face quite rightly and comedically. So we'll put up Taylor's brilliant drawing. You should sign that, Taylor, so we can see it, and we'll scan that in. We'll have that on the website. There'll be pictures of Trevor hassling the Papini sisters, which will probably be coming up in their forthcoming Old Bailey trial to stop Trevor Locke haunting them with his ghostly presence. Okay, have we got Matt? Time for Matt Morgan's cultural review. Let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, Matt's going to do a cultural review. So, perpetual outsider and hater of things refined, Matt Morgan this week has been to a posh restaurant. What was it, Matt?
So do I say the name?
Of course you do in a review. You can't review something with an air of mystique, can you?
Rocker in Charlotte Street, that Japanese
What, in
place
London?
that you went once when I was there.
Yeah, okay, so you went to Rocco and it's a restaurant. What did you think of it?
Well, it cost me 200 quid.
That's
more
expensive.
Than that
What
for
did
two
you have?
people. Just a normal...
You
I made a
people?
big mistake. I made a mistake because it says, you know, the set menu. It said £75 set menu, minimum 2 people. So I thought that meant minimum 2, but that means it must be so much food. You need a minimum of 2 people to eat.
So you
75 quid. I'll probably get out of there.
You don't know nothing about culture, do you?
Well, it's not really culture, is it? It's a trick that they've.
It's not a trick. Minimum of 2 people. 2 people have to eat this dish. Oh, it's not like a recommendation. Unless you're a real greedy guts, it's probably best to share this with a pal. That's not what that meant, Matthew.
So anyway, yeah. So it's £75 each, and it was just a constant wave. That was like being beaten up with food. It was constant, like nice, but like little fussy Japanese little things that came.
It's a Japanese restaurant.
What do you expect? You xenophobic lunatic. Next you'll be going on about Pearl Harbor.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, you know, there was
too many dishes.
Reiterating the fact that it was Japanese food, so it was small and fiddly, and it was lovely, but
they bind their feet
expensive,
up.
And it just kept coming. And then at the end, when you think it's finished, they bring this crab soup thing.
So, are you recommending this restaurant, Matthew? You're going on like Michael Winner. You won't be able to eat anywhere in London now after this attack on Rocco, which I believe is a reputable and good restaurant.
It's good. The food was nice. Everything was good. But I begrudged paying the money because once you're full up, you might as well just have eaten anything.
Well, Matthew, that's just the whole idea of gastronomy.
I think you should
Why don't you just
first.
eat blotting paper?
Pay before you eat. I think that's what should happen. You should
So
order.
does Seinfeld, so you're on very dangerous ground. And he's going to be a lot more articulate and funny about it than you, let me tell you. And he probably won't say it while chasing after the Panini sisters with his trousers down.
What's he say? That
my trousers are up.
Jerry Seinfeld says you should pay for meals at the beginning because you resent it. I don't want, because when you pay for the food, you're like, I don't want food. Why would I want food?
No, but when the bill came, I still believed that £75 thing. So I was half trying to, because I was with this girl that...
you were trying to impress?
No, I wasn't trying to impress her.
What are you doing? Why are you taking it to an expensive... Why are you taking it... It's from her past. What are you, a Time Lord? Who was it? Bodicea? I'm taking Queen Bodicea to a Japanese restaurant. She was difficult company. She kept trying to jettison people. She'd annexed to the sushi bar by the time we'd had our starters.
Yes, it was Bodicea.
Right. Well, at least you're being honest now.
And I had to pretend... I had to play it cool, and it was embarrassing because I had the money. It was all right. I knew I'd have the money in my account, but I begrudged it.
I hope so. You earn a fortune off our various ventures. So are we gonna have time after the next track to say goodbye, or is this us? We've got to say goodbye now. So right, okay. So we've got a couple of minutes to say goodbye, have we? Right. What a fantastic show it's been, everyone. Let's all enjoy. Let's appreciate everyone. We've had Mr. G doing poetry. Yeah, you can check him out on Radio 4. What time are you on Radio 4, G? 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock Tuesday. Check out Mr. G's radio show on Radio 4. The Papini sisters, haven't they been tolerant of the groping, the honking, the Sid James that's been following them everywhere they go, the Robin Asquith style skirt lifting. Trevor, you've disgraced yourself as always. Taylor, you've been fantastic. Round of applause for Taylor. We'll check Taylor's drawing. Noel Gallagher, as always, has been a gem on our show. Let's have a round of applause for Noel Gallagher, everyone. God bless Noel Gallagher. Okay, and then of course there's been me, Russell Brand, cocky Trevor Lockie, and enemy of culture Matt Morgan, romping his way through a delightful Japanese meal like some sort of swine. Please come back next week. We're going to have fantastic guests. We're going to have a fantastic romp. Those of you that remember Trevor's Sonic Enigma and aren't still confused and baffled by it hovering over your aspirin pipes, you will enjoy Def Leppard. What was the name of the track, Trev?
Pour some sugar on me.
So pour some sugar on us, boys. Matthew, do you want to add anything?
No.
Bye forever, we love you!
BBC 6 Music.